for the 2024 election, quote, if at all.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. We just got another inflation update showing prices on the wholesale level rose a bit more than expected last month, up 0.3%. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's happened again. Mostly sunny, 71 on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Another teenager shot this morning. This time it was around 2 a.m. when police got the call. It happened on the west side at an apartment complex just near West Michigan Street and Holt Road. The teenage boy is alive at the hospital and stable. AES Indiana will be meeting with state regulators in September to explain what it went through during those severe storms in late June. Spokesperson Kelly Young tells Indy Politics no one was ready for the damage.
During that storm, we really saw a lot of significant damage to overhead distribution lines from the trees falling on poles, trees falling on our lines.
State regulators have not decided yet on starting an investigation into AES. One of Monday morning's tornadoes was on the ground for about 25 miles in southern Indiana, which is a new record. The National Weather Service Louisville office covers most of southern Indiana and says that they have never had a tornado in their region on the ground that long before. He's accused of shooting and killing two men at a gas station. Harrison Silcox reports on the prison sentence for Kellen Harris.
After a jury trial, Harris was convicted on 2 counts of murder for shooting and killing Frederick Small and Ezekiel Watkins in May 2021. Harris and another man were seen on security cameras at a gas station off North Midhofer Road waiting for the 2 men. Harris shot both of them when they walked in and left. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced Thursday Harris will spend 55 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections for the shootings. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Private schools are seeing an increase in students this school year, says John L. Seltzer with the Indiana Non-Public Education Association.
And they pretty much mirror the public school in their particular areas.
He tells Wish TV that many private schools are also getting more students from families who qualify for school vouchers. It's Brickyard Weekend, and that means a lot of racing. Practice begins today on the IMS road course for IndyCar drivers ahead of tomorrow's Gallagher Grand Prix. The NASCAR Cup Series will run the Verizon 200 on Sunday at 2:30. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Current interstates are looking pretty good. A little bit slow on the northeast side. It's westbound 465 from I-69 over to Allisonville Road. No struggles going to the airport from downtown right now. Westbound 70 looking good from the south split out to the airport collector with Ronald Reagan Parkway and Ameriplex. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dog bite injury? Call Isaacs and Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Some patchy morning fog, otherwise partly cloudy with a spotty afternoon storm, a high of 85. Partly cloudy, muggy overnight with a few scattered showers and storms, a low down to 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
71 and sunny on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday. Friday, August 11th. It is 6 minutes after 9. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. He's Rob Kendall. You can find him on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall. You can find me there as well, Casey Daniels 317. And right now, we're both live streaming on YouTube. Just type in Kendall and Casey into your YouTube search bar. All right, Rob, you had a big night last night. You dressed up, party, load up, go down to the JW Marriott for the Republican State Dinner.
Well, I actually didn't do any of those things because I think I'm banned from the Republican State Dinners.
Well, somebody did. Somebody dressed up and went down there.
Well, yes, and I'm not going to tell you who sent me this. Because you ever see something and you know it's real, but it's almost an out-of-body type of experience where you have no doubt what you're seeing is real, but you can't believe that it is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, we have a full house today, and one of the folks in here with us is the beloved Officer Brad, who has brought us donuts. Again, one of the greatest human beings who ever lived. And Officer Brad was showing me offline one of the upstanding members of society that he had the great pleasure of having to confiscate a bevy of substances that they brought into a government building.
Yeah.
So they had to have known they were going to get caught. And I have no doubt that when Officer Brad saw the bevy of substances that person attempted to bring into a government building, he had the same out-of-body experience I had when I saw the picture of the sponsors at the Indiana Republican State Dinner last night, in which Officer Brad knew the substances that he had confiscated from this upstanding member of society were real, and he was actually doing that, but he couldn't believe someone would be that stupid to bring them into a government building.
Mm-hmm.
I had the same reaction when I saw the list of sponsors at the Indiana Republican Party State Dinner.
You're talking about the bronze sponsor. Bronze level, by the way, is $5,000.
Oh, yes.
And with that, you receive 2 tickets to VIP reception prior to dinner.
Right.
A VIP table of 8 for dinner.
Oh.
And sponsor recognition. Well, they're getting their recognition now, aren't they?
It is the Indiana State Teachers Association, better known as the operating arm of the Angry Red-Shirted Teachers Union. And this should make every single Republican want to puke that under Eric Holcomb and Kyle Hupfer, that this state party has moved so left that the lunatic, radical left, angry red-shirted teachers union has said, we like you guys so much now. Here's $5K. Thanks for all you've done for us.
Yep. They got their name right there on the sign.
And there is no shame. The state party has no shame. They're not embarrassed by it. This is why nothing changes with public education in this state. This is why these radical left public education agendas continue to be supported and propped up, because the angry red-shirted teachers union knows they have no better friend than Eric Holcomb and Kyle Hupfer and the Indiana Republican Party. This is why there continues to be record amounts of money thrown at public education despite colossal failure after colossal failure, despite the fact that you've got a bunch of these people coming down screaming at the State House that they're mad that they can't teach kindergartners through third graders about sex. Oh, no, we're friends with them. This is unbelievable, yet totally believable at the same time.
They gave them $5,000 to be a sponsor. Now, I'm curious, did their table of 10 all wear their red shirts to the dinner last night?
This is why I have, though I remain a Republican in good standing, have pretty much given up on the Indiana Republican Party, because this is their priority. And if you look at what the Indiana Republican Party has done, look, it's not just Holcomb. It's easy to say, well, under Holcomb, the state party has taken a radical left move. And when you look at what they've done the past 7 years under Holcomb, record taxes, largest tax increase in state history, record government spending, calling terrorists noble while saying that law-abiding citizens who want their job back are human petri dishes, trying to put you in jail for not wearing a mask, shutting your business down en masse, putting over 1 million people out of work. I mean, this is another example, but they don't even try to hide it anymore. The Republican Party believes they own you to the point that you are so afraid of a Democrat being in there, and they've got you so hoodwinked in terms of believing that there is some sort of difference between the modern Indiana Republican Party and the Democrats, that it doesn't matter anymore. And it is to the point where the state teachers union says, yeah, we really love what the Republicans are all about. Here's $5K, baby.
Yes, we're supporting that. Give me some more of that. Okay, well, let's talk about what happened at the dinner last night. So this is the Indiana Republican Party state dinner last night. And during the event, which was, I guess, just filled with T-shirts and buttons and signs all over the place with his name on it, guess what happened?
Oh.
Jim Banks was endorsed as future senator.
So you know Jim Banks. We remember Jim. Jim was, for those of you who are new to the program, we always like to do a history lesson here. Jim Banks tried to run for, he's a U.S. representative. He tried to run for House leadership. He was resoundingly rejected by his House colleagues, probably because he has really zero accomplishments to tout, hasn't really accomplished anything, didn't really accomplish much of anything in the Indiana Senate before that either. And so why would you want someone who's accomplished nothing to be in your leadership? And when he was rejected by the House leadership, his response, because Jim just told us, he gives the speeches, that he's a conservative, he's a fighter. And so Jim's response to being resoundingly rejected by Kevin McCarthy and House leadership wasn't to get mad. It wasn't, I'm going to stand and fight. It wasn't to get even. It was to get on bended knee and kiss the ring finger of Kevin McCarthy. And then you remember, Casey, he voted for him not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 15 consecutive
15 times.
Kevin McCarthy told us what a great guy. Went on this won't come on this radio show, of course, because, well, Jim's, a big fake phony tough guy. He won't come on this show and answer the questions, but he came on other shows and said what a great guy that McCarthy was and what a great job McCarthy was going to do. And well, of course we've seen how that's gone. All we've gotten was just more government spending and more emboldening of the Biden administration. And all that aside, most recently Jim Banks, of course, missing the debt ceiling vote. He did have time to go on TV and radio all day and flap his gums and talk about how he was against the debt ceiling and how he was going to vote against this and that. And then, well, he just didn't make it to the debt ceiling vote. It's amazing, Casey. Jim Banks certainly had his watch set and had his aides on standby to make sure that he got to give the big speech last night at the GOP state dinner. So if it's politics and it's endorsements and it's money for Jim Banks, well, he will damn sure make sure he's there on time. But when it comes to voting on your behalf against the debt ceiling, well, we still don't know where he was.
Yeah, he was able to show up for the dinner. He said, it's an incredible honor. I think it's a testament to how we've unified the party.
Oh.
So Jim Banks, the lone front runner for senator.
I'm the only guy running.
He's the only one running. $2.5 million in the bank to fight against who? Nobody else. For a minute, we thought Mitch Daniels may be running for the Senate seat, but he said no. He declined that. So Jim Banks is in this race all on his own and getting endorsed by Kyle Hupford and the Republican National Committee.
Yeah, so 2 things we have to make very clear here. One, Jim Banks said something so offensive at that dinner last night, and I'm sure, and I was told that people just clapped like seals because that's what they usually do, and that's what these state party dinners usually are, is just a lot of people who, the ones who know better don't want to cause a ruckus, and then there's a lot of people who go to these things who totally believe this Republican line of bullcrap about conservatism or limited government or the state that works or whatever. He gave credit to Eric Holcomb last night, he being Jim Banks, about the state surplus. And I can't begin to tell you the level of offensive that is because, Casey, what is a surplus?
It's our money.
Yes, that's right. It's overtaxation. It's money the government confiscated. And the taxes in this state are so ridiculous that they couldn't even even despite record government and record spending, they couldn't spend enough money. And the surplus is overtaxation. So you have phony, fake, tough guy, phony, fake conservative Jim Banks giving Eric Holcomb credit for the overtaxation of us. And then what they do this past year, they said, well, we might run a risk of having to give people the money back. So let's find as many one-time expenditures as we possibly can so that we don't have to give the people the money back, and we'll change the state law for what we can't spend to ensure that we don't have to give you your money back. That's who Jim Banks thinks is doing a great job, Casey. That's who Jim Banks stood up in a room full of people and said, look at what a great job Eric Holcomb's doing. And for that, just like when he kissed the ring finger of Kevin McCarthy 15 times, Kevin and his goon squad in Washington said, well, since you've been nice and you've played ball, Jimmy, we're not going to oppose you in running for U.S. Senate. Holcomb and Hupfer said, hey, if you get up there and say nice things about us and what a great job we're doing, we'll endorse you for U.S. Senate. So Jim Banks is no different than all the rest. Heck, Casey, I bet they may invoke that Todd Young rule for Jim Banks, and he won't even be required to get the signatures to get on the ballot. They'll just put him right on there.
Hey, congratulations, Eric Holcomb, for sticking it to Hoosiers. What a good job you did.
So if you vote for Jim Banks, you now know, and there'll be many people who will do it, just like the people who rolled over and played dead and voted for Todd Young, that you are voting for Eric Holcomb and you are voting for Kyle Hupfer because they have said resoundingly Jim Banks is our guy. And Jim Banks said last night what a great job Eric Holcomb is doing with all the overtaxation that he did on you and then not giving any of it back to you. So now you know. Now you know.
Jim Banks says that he won't be endorsing any particular candidate in any other state races. Like, he's not going to endorse anybody for governor. He has, however, endorsed Donald Trump for the Republican presidential
Boy, he really went out on a limb on that
Yeah.
one, didn't he? Boy, how about the boldness from Jim Banks?
17 minutes after 9, you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
On the campaign trail, Ron DeSantis went to a couple different places.
I'm a very hardcore Trump supporter. This is the most important vote that we're going to have.
Who would be better at legislating, beating Joe Biden,
restoring this country to what the founding fathers envisioned?
Your heart against your mind. Trump against DeSantis. Who you got?
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
With mortgage rates as high as they are, you might be inclined to improve your current space rather than buy, and Galaxy Concrete Coatings can help, especially with your garage, your driveway, your pool deck, your porch, your patio, whatever it is. They'll take that dark, gray, cracked, dirty concrete and make it fantastic. They'll lay down a coating that's 4 times stronger than epoxy. It dries fast, has a really strong hold, the color won't fade, and it's super easy to clean. Call them today in Fishers, 317-751-9070. That's Galaxy Concrete Coating, 317-751-9070. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
Indy, stop spoiling your summers painting year after year. Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
Rhino Shield's ceramic coating is specifically formulated for our climate.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Indy, this just in. Take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Go Don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Have you ever dropped off your documents for shredding and wondered what happened to them? At Quick Shred, documents are shred right in front of you at their retail location on East 62nd Street. No appointment needed and convenient curbside assistance is provided. No matter how big or how small, they shred it all. You leave knowing your confidential information has been completely destroyed. Quick Shred is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Quick Shred at 62nd and Binford Boulevard. Quick Shred.
Hey, Ruthie, a bunch of us are heading out to Monroe Lake today. Any recos for a good drink out by the lake?
Sure. Total Wine & More is practically lakeside headquarters. My personal favorite is an easy-sipping tequila like this new Reposado.
Ooh, I bet that tequila pairs well with my new camping chair.
And you can relax even more knowing this price is the lowest in town.
Wow, that low price leaves other stores in your wake.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More in Indianapolis. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs, the Hammer. Have you been injured by a dog bite? Let us take on the big insurance companies, and we'll fight to get you the money you deserve. Go to WeWin.com for your free case evaluation. Just click and get help quick. Go to WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
How can you listen to this wacko?
And Casey Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
On 93 WIBC.
23 minutes after 9, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said that he intends to subpoena members of the Biden family, and this is in regards to the investigation of the president's role in his son's influence peddling. He didn't lay out a timeline. He did say that they want to talk to 2 or 3 or 4 more associates of the Biden family. He didn't identify the associates, but he did say if they don't come voluntarily, well, they'll get subpoenaed too.
Oh, I'm sure they're very afraid, Casey. How is it that Trump can be impeached in like 2 weeks, and yet with a cavalcade of evidence that dwarfs anything related to Donald Trump and January 6th, the Republicans can't pull their heads out of their ass in, what's it been? It's been 9 months now, or eight months. It's
they
been
are slow walking
months.
this, aren't they?
Like, and I think the American public is over it. It's always, hey, there's a new witness. Oh, there's a new bombshell testimony. Nothing ever happens to any of these people. I mean, Hunter Biden, were it not for that judge who was appointed by Trump, who apparently had her act together, he would have just skated right out of everything with apparently blanket immunity going forward. Nothing ever happens to any of these people.
I feel like, and maybe I'm being naive, but I feel like James Comer wants all of his I's dotted and his T's crossed so that the Bidens can't squirrel out of this. But did you notice?
Wait, but time out, though. They're going to squirrel out of it. It doesn't matter what they do.
Put the best foot forward.
They always do.
You ever notice how Joe Biden is saying that Hunter didn't receive any money from China? But I thought that Joe and Hunter never talked about his business dealings.
That's a great point, Casey. And this is why you need to be in the Congress, because I know you, no doubt, would come in guns blazing and you would make sure Biden gets impeached. However,
well, it's too late. Jim Banks has already been endorsed.
Well,
so.
I know you had your eyes set on the U.S. Senate. However, yes, as you mentioned, Comer did say they're going to get tough. They're going to start subpoenaing. Is that the correct?
Yeah.
You know, my mother was a high school English teacher, so she would be very disappointed if I get this wrong. Subpoenaing the Bidens.
Going to subpoena Hunter Biden.
Yeah, this is always going to end with the Bidens coming in front of the committee. We are going to subpoena the family. I mean, we're putting the case together to win in court. Obviously, with all the opposition and obstruction we're getting from the Biden attorneys now, we know that this is going to end up in court when we subpoena the Biden. So we're putting together a case, and I think we've done that very well. We've shown the bank records. If I had subpoenaed Joe and Hunter Biden the first day I became chairman of the committee, it would have been tied up in court, and the judge would have eventually thrown it out, because at that time the narrative was, well, they never took any money while he was vice president. He never had any communication with his business associates, and the money never came from China. We've had to go every step of the way and prove the media narrative was wrong, and the vice president and the current president lied. We have caught Joe Biden in so many lies, I can't even count the number of lies now. So we have put together a case that I think would stand up in any court of law in America, and we hope to hear from the Biden soon.
Okay, so his committee unveiled that bank records show that the Biden family and their allies, they reaped in $20 million from foreign associates. This includes Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and possibly even China. But on Fox News, a Biden spokesperson says, no. There's been no involvement with Hunter and his business dealings.
So what do you say about that, John? And when will the president actually answer some of these questions to put some of this to rest himself?
Oh, my goodness, Martha. I mean, he just did with Peter. I mean, he's the one who called Peter over and had Peter, risk life and limb cutting across that barrier. I mean, he specifically called Peter over. And he knows Peter. He knows Peter's not going to ask some softball question about how his vacation was. He knows who Peter is, and he answered that question. And I don't know what it's going to take.
He didn't answer whether or not he was on speakerphone in those meetings, John. He just said, I never talked business to anybody.
The question was about business, and he answered it consistently with what he said so many times before. He's been very consistent that he wasn't talking business.
But the question is, was he allowing his presence, on speakerphone to speak volumes? Was he allowing that presence to say, this is my son, he has access to me, while he's talking to Ukrainian businessmen, Chinese businessmen, Russian businessmen, after the invasion of Crimea, as Katie Pavlich just pointed out?
I just don't know how many times he's going to have to say no to the same question. And he said it consistently. He's been consistent about this. There were no discussions about business with his son or his son's business partners. And again, he called Peter over. And I'm not saying he knew that was the question, but he certainly knew it wasn't going to be a softball when he answered it.
He didn't answer it.
Oh my gosh, Casey was so concerned about Peter Doocy, who we love, who was risking life and limb. Look, OJ lies to this day about whether he killed his wife and her friend.
At least he's consistent, right?
I love how they're like, he keeps saying no. Why would he lie?
He's a consistent liar, and he didn't answer the question. He told Peter Doocy that's a lousy question.
I just love that a narcissistic, sociopathic liar, they act like, well, to this dying day, Gacy claimed he didn't know how the bodies got in his basement, Casey. Well, of course John denies that he put those bodies there. What a silly, stupid question.
Well, Fox News, their stock is now higher than ever before, and this is after they got rid of Tucker, and that's on deck. From 93 WIBC.
Let me ask you a question. What's 12 times 3? It's 36. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912. This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy, wants to help you earn that 36% bonus at 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
They're still burning. It's 71 and sunny on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. 55 people now dead in the wildfires burning in Hawaii.
The strong winds that have fueled these fires have only recently and somewhat died down, allowing for the true scope of the horror to be revealed by air. Fire has leveled the historic town of Lahaina into a scorched shell. As of today, firefighters have contained 80% of the fire burning there, but others continue to burn across Maui and the Big Island. Around 11,000 people people remain without power, and it could take weeks before a complete search for the missing can be conducted.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Russia has launched its first lunar mission since 1976. Luna 25 spacecraft blasted off this morning from eastern Russia and is expected to touch down on the moon on August 21st. The unmanned mission, if successful, will make Russia the first nation to land a spacecraft on the lunar South Pole, where it will test the soil for the presence of frozen water. And now the stock report. We're off a little bit at the opening bell. The Dow was down 67 to 35,182. The Nasdaq down 98 to 15,103. And the S&P 500 is down 16 to 4,469. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
With Spectrum Mobile and the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 and Galaxy Z Flip 5, you get faster speeds with Spectrum Speed Boost. Purchase the new Samsung Galaxy Z through Spectrum and get up to $1,000 off, plus the value of your trade-in device. Visit a Spectrum store or SpectrumMobile.com to get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 and Galaxy Z Flip 5 today. Visit spectrum.com/policies/mobile-terms for details. Restrictions apply. Spectrum Internet required. Auto pay required.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
Right now, try our 2 for $5 breakfast with tasty options like a sausage McMuffin with egg. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
Get ready for incredible speed and high-octane fun. The Indy Airstrip Attack returns to Marion, Indiana Airport August 11th and 13th. This fast-paced racing event showcases some of the most powerful cars in the world. Presented by Revolution and Shift Sector. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Watch parties aren't what they used to be.
Welcome to today's matinee.
Ever since we got Xfinity, my little sister and her friends can easily stream all their favorite stuff.
We'll start with 2 episodes of Top Chef, then Chopped.
When I was a kid, we'd worry about buffering. Now they just worry about what's on the charcuterie board.
Enjoy these fine meats and cheeses.
These are just cut up hot dogs and spray cheese.
Indeed.
The best way to stream your favorites is on the Xfinity 10G network. Introducing the best value in live TV and streaming on the best network with Xfinity Internet and Now TV. Now through August 28th, get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Plus, add Now TV with Peacock Premium, a $5.99 a month value included at no extra cost for just $20 a month. Switch today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Now TV requires Xfinity Internet. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Stream Top Chef on Peacock.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
was a rough start of 2023 for Fox News, especially in April when they let Tucker Carlson go, but they seem to have rebounded and restored investors' confidence. Good morning. It is 9:35 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
You know, Casey, one of my least favorite parts of the show is where I have to come on these very powerful airwaves, heard from Ohio to Illinois and all points in between, and tell people how right I was, we were, whatever. And if you remember when, so disclaimer, this will be one of those moments, and we'll get through it together as best we can. If we all hold hands and just believe in a better tomorrow, we'll get through this together. If you remember when Tucker was let go, dismissed, whatever word you want to use, people were saying, "Well, that's it for Fox News. That's it. They're done. It's all over." And I said, that's ridiculous, because there was only one guy in the history of this industry who, if he didn't show up to work the next day, it was going to be a big deal, and that was Rush. And that is proven correct. And I think we talked about yesterday, I think, how, hey, Buck Sexton and maybe this was Ethan that I had the conversation with, how Buck Sexton and Clay Travis were the replacement for, and in fact it was with Ethan, because I was sitting in your seat, which I'd love to reclaim that seat, but apparently that's not going to happen. I'm back to my normal seat.
Nobody puts baby in the corner, but go on.
If you'd like to see us in our seats, Casey's premium seat and me in my subpar seat, you can watch us on YouTube. Just put Kendall and Casey into your YouTube browser. I'd said when Clay Travis, without kick, has built a juggernaut, that is just it's a smash, right? I mean, millions of people every day. He's a huge hit. He's one of the more influential people in media. But his radio show with Buck Sexton, which was the replacement for Rush, has not translated into anything like his internet presence has. And I think the Rush passing, and then the kind of just scramble and obviously lackluster results related certainly to Rush, has proven that Rush was the only guy that if he didn't show up to work the next day, people were going to care, and it was going to be a seismic shift in the way media was consumed. And when people said, "Oh my gosh, the Tucker this and the Tucker that," yeah, there are a lot of people who left Fox News. But ultimately, newsflash, surprise, I'm going to spoil the end of the movie, media companies are in it, they're in it for ratings, but ultimately they're in it to make money.
Sure.
That's why they exist. And when you are something the size of Fox, making money is all that matters. And so, yes, the ratings may have gone down and people may have left and they may not return, but the people who run Fox and the shareholders of Fox, they don't care whether it's Bill O'Reilly or Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham or Jesse Waters or whoever. As long as they are making money, that is all that matters to them, and they have rebounded because that's the way this industry works.
Well, a lot of people, like you mentioned, suggested that Fox would regret their decision to sack Tucker Carlson. And they did have that $50 million loss last quarter when they had to pay out because of the Dominion voting system. But they also don't have Tucker Carlson's salary on their P&L statement anymore. So everything is eventually going to balance back out. And as it turns out, their stock has now gone up. They were at $33.99 and now they're at $34.78. So not only have they recovered, but they're on the upswing as well.
And it does underscore what's going on with Bud Light. And the only way to get these mega corporations' attention is to hit them in the pocketbook, devalue their shares, devalue their profits, and clearly Tucker Carlson leaving, while it had an instant impact on the rating. People forget, right? People have short memories. If tomorrow they came and said, "Rob Kendall, you're out of here," which, by the way, again, newsflash, every person in radio is hired to get fired. When I started here 7 years ago, I never thought I'd make it 7 years. We've done very well. We've earned our spot here. But just like with every other person in radio, the bell tolls for someone eventually. I am not naive enough to think, well, heck, this 80-year-long heritage radio station that's been
cannot go on without you.
Station of record in this city. It won't exist without me. This station has existed after many, many legendary broadcasters have been exit stage left. And WIBC as a brand will continue to exist long after I'm, you, Hammer, Nigel, Tony, whoever, are shown the door. It's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to be a part of the history of this radio station. But mega media will continue to exist no matter who's in the slot. It may be different. It may not be as good. It may be worse, but it will continue to exist because that's the way the industry works.
It does make me curious. Was Fox News undervalued before for them to be able to bounce back so quickly after Tucker left? I mean, he was let go in April, and here we are in August, and already they're on top of where they were. But Mike Pence, he was recently asked about something involving Tucker Carlson. He was at the Iowa State Fair. There he is, Mike Pence, 2% Pence, back in Iowa. And he took open questions from the crowd, which is a little dangerous move of him because you never know what somebody's going to ask.
I love this so much. How much people loathe and disdain Mike Pence. I can't tell you what a thing of beauty that is. It's why I'm glad he made the debate stage, because this little charade will get to go on and we will continue to get gold audio like this, which is just perfect for our show. So he, as you said, he's on some sort of, I don't know, it's a flatbed or a stage or a something. And there probably, it looks like, are 100, maybe 200 people in this crowd.
It almost looks like a bigger crowd at the Iowa State Fair than what he had at the Indiana State Fair.
Oh, it certainly was. Well, because people in Indiana know Mike Pence and they know the Pence family, and they're donezo with the Pence family based on Exhibit A, Your Honor, Suzanne Crouch backing the bus over Greg Pence once it got out that the powers that be had told her, you're picking him as your running mate. He was asked, he being Mike Pence, how are you holding up after Tucker Carlson ruined your career?
Way back. Let me see if I can hear you.
How has life treated you since Tucker Carlson ruined your career?
And he answers the question, wait.
You know, I had a very sporty debate with that former talk show host from Fox.
Digs at him.
And I will tell you,
you're a loser.
You know, when some people put out a video from that cut off the back half of my answer, I simply tweeted the whole 3 minutes and said, you know, we used to call that fake news. Look, there's a lot of talk about Ukraine and U.S. support in Ukraine, and I know old Tucker's been against U.S. support there from the very beginning. But let me tell you something, I've met Vladimir Putin. Anybody that thinks Vladimir Putin's going to stop if he overruns Ukraine has got another thing coming. If Vladimir Putin overruns Ukraine, it's not going to be too long before he crosses a border of a NATO country where we're going to have to send our men and women in uniform to fight. I stand on the Reagan doctrine that says if you're willing to fight our enemies on your soil with your soldiers, we're going to give you the means to fight them there so we don't have to fight them somewhere else.
So of the 200 plus people there, it sounded like 4 were applauding.
We're clapping.
And I love the guy in the background who in the middle of the answer shouts, you're a loser.
You're a loser.
Well,
he turns everything back to Ukraine, by the way.
Yeah, and this is really important because this is everything Mike Pence has been. And I so love that after saying this for 10 years, people have seen it in real time. It's never Mike Pence's fault. He's always a victim. There's always somebody that's manipulated something against him. And his default position is to spend other people's money and do whatever is necessary, no matter what the cost, to keep the industrial military complex afoot and afloat and in full force. And he laid it all out for you right there. And gosh, I just can't tell you the joy I get seeing this guy plummet every time he opens his mouth or is in the news.
2% Pence, the way he says, we call that fake news. No, Donald Trump called that fake news. It's 9:44. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Joe Biden wants another $40 billion and assistance to Ukraine, and Joe Hogsett doesn't want to answer any of your questions. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
The U.S. home price index is on the rise, and interest rates are stabilizing. The market is turning more seller-friendly. If you've been waiting, now may be the best time to sell your home. Find out with the agent I recommend, Mark Dietl. Maybe you want to maximize your equity from your home, but not sure how. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Ben in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I wanted to upgrade into a bigger place, so selling my old place at top dollar was a priority. I hired Mark Dietel, and the team was amazing. I got a great cash offer before going on the market that included closing costs with no appraisal. I was blown away by the Mark Dietel team. Call for all the details. Call the agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, Dietel.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Life is all about enjoying the little moments. Don't miss out on them because of unexpected heart issues. At Community Health Network, you receive heart care you can trust. From simple screenings to life-saving diagnostic and interventional cardiology services, we offer it all, so you can get back to the moments that matter. Learn more about our services at ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
Dive into the summer of Jeep with York Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Plainfield. Dreaming of a new Jeep Compass? Yours for just $319 a month. Or take on the new Grand Cherokee at $359 a month. Get employee pricing on a new Jeep Gladiator. You pay what we pay. This month only at York Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Start your next deal at YorkCDJRofPlainfield.com.
We're not number one.
You are.
You're number one at York.
This summer of fun is brought to you by Citizens Energy Group, reminding listeners to water their lawn only twice a week. Get more info at citizensenergygroup.com/waterwise. That's citizensenergygroup.com/waterwise.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic on 93 WIBC.
It is 12 minutes in front of 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Wait.
What?
Look, you said something during the break, and I know I didn't hear that right. You've been flirting with people from Joe Hogsett's staff?
No,
what?
not
I mean, I only
flirting.
heard like part of it. What is going on?
Well, a couple things. One of my girlfriend's the daughter actually worked in his office all summer long.
Like of her own free will?
Yeah, I texted her and I said, "Hey."
I mean, this wasn't like a hostage situation where she was forced into working.
She's on that side.
No kidding.
I said, "Are you working in Hogsett's office?" And she said, "My last day was Friday, but I did spend the summer there." And in fact,
does she know where he was during the riots?
That's what I was getting to. I was trying to find out. I was like, "Oh, I got a little birdie in his office.
Right.
Let's see."
Is there like a memo of where he was during the riots? Is it in a safety deposit box somewhere?
Well, she doesn't work there anymore.
Oh,
so then I thought,
bad.
okay, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to his office directly.
Yeah.
So I texted Mark Bodie and I said, hey, you know what? We had Jefferson Shreve on the show and we talked about his public safety plan. Yes. So I think it's only fair that our listeners hear directly from Joe Hogsett about his public safety plan. And they're very similar. So I'd like to know what he thinks the difference is and how his is better than Jefferson Shreve's or worse. And,
we'd love to know.
And I also want to know, how it's going with the green space out on Monument Circle.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, Joe Hogsett's plan to stop violence on the Circle was to take a bunch of AstroTurf and throw it down and put a bunch of picnic tables and
ping pong tables.
And apparently, violent criminal guy was going to say that and say, well, clearly we can't shoot anyone here.
Right. That would not be appropriate.
And that makes perfect sense, Casey.
So I thought, well, let's get him on the show. Let's at least try to get him on the show. I really didn't think that he would do it. But then his guy got back to me and said, you know what? This is campaign stuff you're talking about, not the actual running of the office. So this is a different guy.
Time out. You're telling me they told you Joe Hogsett's plan to stop people from shooting each other at record numbers in Indianapolis is a campaign issue?
Well, no, he's saying my questions were a campaign issue. And, they have to keep them separate. Running of the office
but I don't understand
versus campaign.
I don't understand how saying, hey, ding dong, year in and year out, more people than ever before or close to it are getting killed. What's your plan to stop it? How is that a campaign question?
Well, the public safety plan would be the campaign question. And so he did give me the name of the guy who's running the campaign for Joe Hogsett.
Great.
And I emailed him, same thing. Hey, we want to have him on the show, but I really didn't think he was going to take me up on it. And I have not heard back from him. So
it's wild.
I think I'm correct.
Well,
that he's not going to take me up on it.
Look, here's the thing, Casey. We would like to ask Hogsett because our friend, what's her name here? Her name is Colin Chang from Indy Star. We talked about this yesterday, and that random confused accidental act of journalism did at least fake an attempt to care about where Hogsett was during the riot. Now, the riots. Now, she did, of course, word them like a racial justice protest. Now, I was unaware racial justice protests involve burning cities to the ground, but apparently that's the new standard operating procedure for racial justice. I have no idea what burning a CVS or, smashing windows or how that's really helping with racial justice. But she did at least ask the question. And should we read Joe's answer again?
Yes.
Because, look, and the problem is we just don't know. What we do know is that the mayor of Indianapolis disappeared on the first night of the riots. No one knows where he is, where he was. No one has ever offered an explanation of where he was. He certainly was not in any communication. There's no proof. Many people have tried public records requests. They can't produce one shred of evidence that Joe Hogsett was in control or communication of the city whatsoever. So it's amazing they can't produce an email or phone calls. What there was a tweet. Now, it has long been known Joe Hogsett doesn't run his own Twitter account, or at least he didn't, at like 3 a.m. the next night. But other than that, the mayor disappeared. And after 3.5 years, finally, someone, this lady from Indy Star, in the most wishy-washy way possible, but let's give her credit, at least she did it, probably very begrudgingly, who knows. But she did ask him where he was, and I'd like to read his response here. All right, Are you ready?
Yeah.
Look, I know there have been questions that have come up. Yeah, no kidding. But I can assure you that on that entire weekend, and I can give you the hook, line, and sinker of press conferences I held throughout the course of that weekend, trying to address the unfortunate circumstances that occurred in Indianapolis on Friday and Saturday, and was fortunately resolved by Sunday. Where were you? You notice he never answers the question.
Didn't he say suffice it to say?
Yes, he goes on to say, suffice it to say, people may not be aware of what I was doing. Yeah, idiot.
That's the question.
That's why she asked.
Yeah.
And he has still not answered the question.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Joe Hogsett, longtime man of the law and tough guy, and why wouldn't he want to come on this acclaimed radio show and tell everybody he was A, B, and C during the riots, the first night of the riots, and person X, Y, and Z can confirm this, and here are the emails that I was sending, and here are the phone records. Why wouldn't you want to
clear the air?
Clear the air.
Yes. Make sure everybody knows.
Goodness.
Well, I did send this email and I said, hi, after having Jefferson Shreve on the program, I wanted to reach out and ask for an opportunity to talk with Mayor Hogsett. Since both candidates have a similar public safety plan, I thought it might be good for our listeners to hear directly from the mayor. Why is Mayor Hogsett's plan better? Differences. How is the green space in downtown Indy going? Please advise. Thank you. Respectfully, KCD. And guess what? Crickets.
Nothing?
No,
now,
nothing.
I know you've already sent this, but if I might add a P.S. to the end of this email. Are you ready?
Where were you?
Are you ready, Casey?
Yes.
All right. P.S. Suffice it to say, I would like to know where the hell you were as our city was burning to the ground.
I'll let you know if they get back to me. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
Your neighbor Edwin is a lot like you. She loves summers in Indy, but she hates to paint, so she called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield specifically formulated for our climate. It's better than paint.
I've had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Right now, take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
4 races, 3 days. The stars of NASCAR and IndyCar return for Brickyard Weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Friday, August 11th, the next generation of Indy Next by Firestone takes to the road course. Saturday features the NTT IndyCar Series Gallagher Grand Prix, followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150 presented by Advance Auto Parts. Then Sunday the 13th, the NASCAR Cup Series takes on the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Power, speed, precision, and family friendly. Kids under 15 get in free. Tickets at IMS.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, another night, another teenager shot. Plus, Ryan Hedrick reports on some abuse that Mike Pence is taking from people going to his campaign rallies. And a busy weekend is underway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Trump lawyers are back in court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, for a hearing about to start in the third criminal case against the former president over his attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Fox's David Spunt is there.
And the only reason that we are having this hearing today here in Washington, D.C. is because of a Truth Social post made by the former president 1 week ago. If you go after me, I'm coming after you. Special counsel Jack Smith's team took it as a threat, possibly to witnesses in the case or even prosecutors. They also believe Trump may talk about evidence in this case publicly. His attorneys say he was just talking about his rivals on the campaign trail, and this is political speech. No matter what Trump meant, Smith asked for a protective order to limit what the former president can say about evidence and witnesses.
Now, the former president claims all of these prosecutions are election interference, and the Republican 2024 frontrunner is refusing to sign a required pledge to be part of the first debate he has suggested he might skip. Many of his challengers have or will sign it.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is the latest Republican presidential candidate to signal he'll sign an RNC loyalty pledge backing the eventual nominee, even as he says former President Trump should never again be president. Senator Tim Scott became the fifth candidate to sign the pledge. It's one of the criteria set for candidates to participate in the first debate on August 23rd, in addition to meeting polling and donor thresholds.
Fox's Jared Halpern. They keep looking for more bodies in the charred ruins of Lahaina, a Hawaiian town destroyed by wildfire.
It's the largest natural disaster that our state has seen.
Governor Josh Green, 55 people confirmed dead, 1,000 unaccounted for.
I have so many friends that just gotten stuck. They got stuck there. I had people left their cars to jump in the ocean.
Amanda Cassidy's house burned down. She lost everything, and she tells Fox many are upset they didn't get any warnings or alerts. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Where the shooting happened, it's mostly sunny and 74 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. It was on the west side at an apartment complex near Michigan Street and Holt Road. A teenage boy was wounded, say IMPD investigators. The call came in at around 2 a.m., and when they got there, they found the boy with gunshot wounds. It's not clear who shot the boy, and he's alive and stable at the hospital. Mike Pence has run into a few hecklers since he started campaigning for president. Ryan Hedrick reports.
He was in Iowa to campaign when he was met by a group of people wearing Team Trump t-shirts.
He is not a Christian when you say higher power. We don't buy
That woman met him as he was walking to a radio interview. This man raised his hand during a Q&A session.
How has life treated you since Tucker Carlson ruined your career?
Pence talked about abortion and immigration while he was on stage there. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You might be frustrated with AES Indiana or other utility companies for power outages during severe storms earlier this year. AES will have to meet with state regulators in September. Spokesperson Kelly Young tells Indy Politics that the company is ready to do better and be better.
What customers can expect is that we're going to be there alongside of them and working as quickly and safely as we can.
Young says the storms in late June caught everyone off guard and were much more powerful than expected. The National Weather Service Louisville office says that one of the tornadoes that hit Indiana early Monday morning this week was on the ground for about 25 miles, going from DuBois County through Orange County and into portions of Washington County. NASCAR and IndyCar are in the same place this weekend, and that place is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's the only time all year that both series are in one location.
Well, I love the idea that you have NASCAR and IndyCar on the same weekend, the same racetrack, because I think it allows IndyCar fans to experience NASCAR and NASCAR fans to experience IndyCar. So I do think there's something special about the uniqueness of it.
IMS President Doug Bowles, NASCAR's Verizon 200 at the Brickyard on Sunday at 2:30. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and the kids are about to go back to school and get reintroduced to the germ pool. Now that means sniffles and sneezes, and when you combine that with all the carpet messes from a summer of fun, it's time to call Zero Res. Here's the good news. It's quick and easy scheduling, and you can get online in seconds or call them on the phone. Average cleaning time is 2 to 3 hours, and the floors dry quickly because they use the patented ZR water that cleans with no soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. Now that's a big win. Zero Res gets all the yuck out, even the non-living allergens and irritants for a lasting summer clean. Zero Res techs are the best in the industry, trained in extraction techniques that just work to get your things really, really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $139, plus you'll get a free hallway and $50 off all air duct cleaning too. That's right, air duct cleaning, and it'll help you improve the air quality in your home and help reduce your energy costs and just breathe easier. Call 388-5141 or schedule your appointment online at zeroresindy.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 11th. It's 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. Hope it's going to be a good weekend for you. I want to read a headline for you, and this is from Newsweek. They say Donald Trump could be disqualified from running in 24 by Supreme Court. So this is a couple of lawyers from University of Chicago and University of St. Thomas. They did this 126-page report, and they argue that Trump attempted to overturn the 2020 presidential election. That amounts to insurrection, thus making it unconstitutional for him to run for the White House again under the 14th Amendment. And they say this is province and duty, and they're taking it all the way to the Supreme Court if they have to back their conclusion.
Well, I hate to burst these people's bubble here, but just a couple things. And look, I am just a low-level bird lawyer who pretends to be one on the radio, and I have no actual legal experience. Did you know Todd Rokita and I believe we have tried the same amount of cases in our life? Yeah.
You've probably won all yours, though.
Me, the pretend lawyer on the radio, and Todd Rokita, the actual attorney general. I believe we tried the same amount of cases. The only difference is my stupidity or fun with the law doesn't hurt anybody. Todd Rokita as well. He's the attorney general. So, hi, Todd. Hope you're having a great Friday. Number one, the Supreme Court doesn't have to take any case they don't want to take, and they're not going to take this case. And number two, I was unaware that Donald Trump had been convicted of insurrection, Casey.
Right, correct.
I was unaware. No one, in fact, I didn't know a single solitary person from January 6th had been convicted of insurrection. Did I miss that?
No, they go on to say that Donald Trump will need permission from 2/3 of both the Senate and the House to run for president.
Sure.
So now he has to ask for permission. It just proves ridiculous headlines that try and get you with their clickbait. But speaking of Donald Trump,
they got you.
Well,
clicked.
I did, because I was like, what? Okay, we have to see what this is all about now.
Mission accomplished on their part, Casey. You're probably the same person who clicks on, you won't believe what Brad Pitt did when Angelina Jolie walked by. Click here to read more.
You know I do. What did they look like now?
Why does my computer have 9,300 viruses on it? What the hantavirus?
What? Okay, well, here's something I definitely did click on, and this is actually noteworthy. Donald Trump says that he will not sign the pledge, the loyalty pledge.
Yeah.
Vivek Ramaswamy signed it. Nikki Haley signed it as well, and they're saying that they will back whoever is the nominee.
Okay, so this is going to be super interesting because, well, first of all, before we get into this, we do have audio of Trump. Trump was asked about this, and basically that's what he said, is he's not signing that pledge, and he made it sound like he's not doing the debates either.
We have so much. You just open up so many avenues right now. But just to tie up the Fox debate, you said you'll decide next week. What is there?
I'll be announcing. Yeah, I've already decided, and I'll be announcing something next week.
Because I noticed the Fox senior executives came and had dinner with you and pitched you. Did they move the needle?
Well, they were very nice. Look, they were very nice.
Here's why, Mr. President. The only reason I say this, I put a poll up on Twitter. At least 2/3 of the people don't want you to do the debate because they feel it could be a setup. Are you concerned about Fox setting up?
Well, when you're at 75, 78, 80%, and other guys are at 0, 1%, 2%, 3%, you do say, what's the upside? Am I going to go up 1 point? But they could go up. You know, they're not dumb people. They're senators. They're governors, they're intelligent people. You have some very good people. I think you have some very good people, and you have some people. I mean, I have a problem with the debate for another reason. I wouldn't sign the pledge. Why would I sign a pledge? There are people on there that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have certain people as, somebody that I'd endorse. So they want you to sign a pledge. But I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem, okay? Right there's a problem. But I don't have to use that.
Right now,
no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
three?
that. There's no reason to insult him.
There's no reason. So he's trying to get out. All right, who's running that you don't like? Donald Trump. And he did later in that conversation mention Asa Hutchinson. And then he went on to say that Vivek Ramaswamy was doing a good job.
He likes Ramaswamy until Ramaswamy becomes, if indeed this happens, the next guy who's on the ascend, and then he will stop liking him if he feels remotely threatened. Now, one of my favorite things with Trump is his ability to exaggerate the truth without any sort of hesitation. There's not a single solitary poll that shows Donald Trump at 80% of the vote anywhere, and yet for him, I'm at 80% of the vote.
70, 80%. Yeah.
It's there's almost something charming about it, his ability to just say things that are wholly ridiculous and keep going. Okay, so here is the conundrum on this for me. Because as a person who values transparency, he should absolutely get on that stage and say, look, I'm running for president for A, B, and C. Here's what I'm going to do if I'm elected. Here is my opportunity to lay out my vision for the country, address concerns of the American people, and let me show you what a bunch of ding-dongs these other underachievers are around me.
But he doesn't have to.
And so this is if you don't feel any sort of obligation to transparency and accountability, which, look, whether you love Trump or not, I think we all know Trump doesn't feel any sense of loyalty or obligation to anyone but himself. No, politically, it's a terrible move because, again, if you're Trump and you don't feel an obligation to the voter, to the taxpayer, to lay out your vision, and if Republican voters aren't going to hold you accountable and punish you for not doing that, then why wouldn't you go to Joe Rogan or to Tucker and say, hey, well, let's do a dealio online live right during the smack dab in the middle of this, and we'll take all their viewers, because you know Trump would get more viewers than they would. I mean, that's a snooze fest if it's DeSantis and Pence and Christie and Scott. I mean, like sitting there looking at that picture of Hammer and Nigel on our wall is more entertaining than listening to those guys. And he knows that. He knows that that he can spit in the face of the RNC and go, yeah, I'm not signing your pledge and I'm not doing the debates. Go ahead and tell your party that I can't be the nominee. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's not playing the party game. He's got no reason to go to that debate. In fact, if he were to go, it could actually hurt him. So why would he do that? I really do think that Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis are going to come across as very intelligent during the debate, and it may hurt Trump if he were on that stage. So, yeah, why would he do it?
Yeah.
He shouldn't do it.
No, and if it's solely political is all you care about, which you know it is with Trump, then don't do it, and he's not going to do it. And it is disappointing because the whole reason I wanted to see Pence on that debate stage was to see Trump eviscerate him. Now, maybe if, well, look, it's not going to change. I mean, at this point, Nigel and I were talking about this during Off the Rails yesterday. At this point, if you have not been removed as a Donald Trump supporter, what would it be? Yeah. What would be the thing at this point that's going to come out about him where you'd go, well, that's it. That's the last straw. There's nothing. Yep. There's nothing. There's not. The only logical way Trump could maybe possibly get derailed is someone like DeSantis has such a ground game in Iowa because it's a goofy, squirrely process with a caucus, not an election. And you have seen in the past underdogs and no-namers come out of there with surprise victories, that they pull a rabbit out of their hat and their organization is so good and Trump's is not, which it's really not. Trump's always kind of been a ragtag band of misfits in terms of his campaign, that they win. And then, okay, now you've got some sort of interesting ball game, puncher's chance, whatever, to the next week in New Hampshire. But other than that, there is no path for any of these people. It's Trump.
Well, you mentioned Ron DeSantis, and he really has to do something, and he's got to do it quick because a new poll just came out. This was conducted by Signal, and they said Donald Trump continues to dominate the field, of course, of the Republican primary contenders. But here's the big one. Shocker. Vivek Ramaswamy has overtaken Ron DeSantis for second place.
Well, we talked about this when DeSantis got in, and I think we both agreed, hey, people are going to see this guy. They're going to look at Florida. They're going to love him. They're going to say, wow, we want the country to be like that. This is going to be great. But politics has changed to the point now where traditional campaigning, I'm not sure that really works if you've got someone who can captivate the public like the way Trump does. And DeSantis is in that bubble now. He never did it as a front runner. He did it as the alternative where Fred Thompson was in 2008 and where Rick Perry was in 2012. And to some extent where Jeb Bush was as the front runner in 2016, where when you set an expectation and the expectation was, hey, yes, DeSantis will enter behind and people are going to see him and he's going to gradually move up the list. And by the time the first debate comes, he may not be in the lead, but he'll be within striking distance. And wow, now we've got a ball game. Well, he hasn't done that. And so people who are looking at alternatives are going, well, dude, if you can't make up any ground, then we got to look somewhere else if you don't want Trump. And it's the same way Perry and Thompson, there was all these expectations and they totally underwhelmed. And then it's not even maybe they did so bad. It's just they didn't. Now, Perry was a total implosion, but Thompson, it was just like, yeah, the guy's just a boring actor who speaks really well. I mean, there's nothing magnanimous or anything about him. He's just a gruff-talking guy who was on Law & Order and Hunt for Red October. I mean,
Yeah, DeSantis definitely not as dynamic as Trump. Trump gaining 1 point in this poll. He's up to 53%, and Vivek Ramaswamy shot up 6 points. He's at 11%, and DeSantis, he went down. He's down to 10%.
Can I just make an editorial comment real quick, Casey?
It's half your show.
One of my favorite things in the world, and the thing I get I can't tell you the level of joy I get out of this. By the way, you can watch us on YouTube. I don't know if you were aware of that. You just go to YouTube and you can just put our name, Kendall and Casey, in the browser there, and you can watch this show. And if you think we're great to listen to, we're even more beautiful to look at. One of my favorite things, and I can't tell you the joy I get out of this, is people who every single day, I'm talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every single damn day of the week, spend 3 hours of their day obsessed on our show and commenting in our YouTube chat, but yet they hate our guts. I can't tell you the joy I get of knowing the amount of your day that I waste every single day obsessing over me. So when you people make your little comments, just know I sit at home, I sit here, wherever I am, and multiple times a day, I just lean back and laugh at the fact that you are so obsessed. Now, they're usually very nice to you. I mean, let's face it, it's usually me because you're a beloved figure. But the amount of joy I get knowing the amount of your day that I waste.
So because they're spending all of this time disliking you, you're still a fan.
That's right. It all counts the same on the ratings. It all counts the same.
It does. It is 18 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
Welcome to Tire Discounters.
Thanks. I heard it could save $200.
Yes, sir. Up to $200 on any set of Cooper tires.
Like it.
And when you buy any set of 4 tires, you get a free alignment.
Sounds great.
And we sand corrosion off all the mating surfaces.
Huh?
And we double hand torque the lug nuts. Huh? And we wash your wheels.
Whoa, so when you guys say C-Store for details,
they're all good things.
Save up to $200 off any set of 4 Cooper tires. C-Store for details.
I'm David Peterson, President and Chief Operating Officer for ERMCO, electrical systems and automation contractor for major projects such as the new Marion County Justice Center and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. While we're known for these landmark projects, companies of all sizes depend on ERMCO for their preventative maintenance, emergency repairs, and energy management services. Regardless of the type or size of your project, you deserve quality and integrity. You deserve ERMCO, empowering people, inspiring innovation. ERMCO is proud to be a quality connection contractor. Quality work, customer connected.
Shooing seagulls away from our beach snacks is easy, but keeping my frequent heartburn away, that was a full-time job. I had to chew up to 10 antacids a day to manage it. Then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Thanks to Prilosec OTC, now my heartburn's on vacation too.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show with Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels.
I thought you two see that you're in love with each other.
On 93 WIBC.
Getting high, becoming as American as apple pie. 21 minutes after 10, you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So half of United States residents have tried marijuana. 17% currently smoke it on a regular basis. This is according to a new Gallup poll.
I've never seen, so I said, we were talking during the break, hey, what story would you like to do now? And I said, let's do the weed story. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen Kevin more interested in our show. I mean, it was
like he's been sleeping for an hour and a half and suddenly he woke up. Wait, what? What's the weed story?
You know what it reminded me of? When my English bulldog Bruce will refuse to move. He will just lay in his cage and will not move. And he sees me go to the little bin where his food is. And it was just, he will just shoot up. Mm-hmm. And then I am here. I'm ready to work. I will do whatever necessary.
What you got? What do you need?
Speaking my language.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this story says that according to a poll, 17% of Americans smoke marijuana on a regular basis.
Yep.
50% have tried weed. And Matt Bear and I were having this conversation before the show. This is why it's so stupid that our government continues to try to act like this doesn't exist and creates this total black market where very dangerous people profiteer off this because everybody who wants to do it is doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here in Indiana, if you want to do it, it's not hard. Just go over to Illinois. Just go up to Michigan.
And then Matt and I were talking about it from this perspective. Our state spends millions of dollars fighting opioid abuse, taxpayer money, and when there is a logical, is it an end-all be-all for opioid abuse? No, absolutely not. But there is a logical way to at least prevent many people potentially from getting hooked to begin with, which is medical marijuana, certainly under a doctor's supervision. And you take this to the state, and Lockdown McGee goes, no, I'm not doing that. But man, we got a major opioid crisis here. And the Republicans in the House and Senate who admit there is the votes to pass medical marijuana just clap like seals for this guy. It's stupid. It's stupid, Casey. And this is why people hate the government. The majority of people want this, certainly medically. There is no proven harm, certainly under doctor supervision, but even smoking it in the confines of your own house if you desire. Now, it's another conversation to say, well, you should be able to do it everywhere. No, you don't want your public square smelling like weed. But in your own home where you're not harming anyone else, look, we've got dear sweet Riley with us today. Riley is, of course, the very fabulous Ball State graduate who Hammer and I crashed his graduation party a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I know Riley's parents are listeners, so I'm not going to indict anyone. But newsflash, Riley's parents, I'm going to guess potentially maybe, an edible was not the worst thing Riley did at Ball State. And yet we act like, hey, we better get the paddy wagon after these people if anyone smokes marijuana.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because, Riley, how old are you?
22.
22. Okay, so we asked him off the air, have you ever smoked marijuana? And he says, I'm going to plead the fifth. And we say, okay, mom and dad are listening. Yeah. You don't want that out there or for whatever reason. Now, if this radio program were in, say, Michigan, I bet we would have gotten a different answer because it is completely acceptable. There is a pot store on every corner in that state. But if you want to break it down politically, 57% of Democrats say that they have tried marijuana or cannabis compared to 39% of Republicans. But here's where it gets interesting. 52% of independents say that they have. And, with it being legal in what is it, 23 states now?
Yes.
Have legalized rec, and 38 states now allow for medicinal purposes. Of course, more residents in this country have smoked marijuana. They say that it's the number of Americans who currently smoke has more than doubled since 2013. Well, that makes sense. It's more readily available, and in many places, it is legal.
All right, Casey, we've got a jam-packed remainder of the show left. We've got voicemails when we return, and then later this hour, the well-assembled lunatic lady from the airplane has spoken.
I am telling you right now.
Kev, have you ever been screamed at by a well-assembled lunatic on an airplane?
Not on an airplane.
Then
He
you
wishes.
Then you haven't lived, buddy. We'll get into that and more coming up next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, Lonnie, how exciting is Jiffy Lube's new partnership with the AAA Hoosier Motor Club?
It is so great to see two longtime trusted experts in automotive maintenance join forces to provide amazing benefits to each other's clients.
AAA members have always saved at least 15% at Jiffy Lube, but now on Thursdays, all AAA members save $25.
And new AAA members get their first oil change half price plus a free tire rotation. If you aren't a AAA member yet, join today.
Great savings from two names you can trust. Jiffy Lube is a one-stop shop for all your car's maintenance needs, from oil changes and filters to brakes and tires. Jiffy Lube makes sure your car keeps running well.
Those quickie places that simply drain your oil, change your filter, slap you on the tailpipe, and kick you out the door love to brag about forcing you to stay in your car. But at Jiffy Lube, we give you the choice to stay in your car or enjoy the Wi-Fi in our lounge while we vacuum your car for free.
Become a AAA member today and start saving big at Jiffy Lube.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
It's the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing. Ends Monday. See store for details.
Hammer Nigel here. I know Jay's Lobster and Fish Market there in the Garage Food Hall, Bottle Works District, downtown Hammer, specializes in the lobster rolls, but they got a new item on the menu that I tried the other day. Absolutely delicious. You have to try the lobster hoagie.
Lobster hoagie?
It is incredible. Not to mention, of course, the lobster mac and cheese is addicting.
I'm in love with Palavano Cubano, the Cuban restaurant. I'm telling you, the best Reuben you will ever have is the Cuban Reuben. Stop by, tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Hoosiers, it's your Congressman Greg Pence. Let's get straight to the point. Joe Biden's policies are not working for the average Hoosier. Inflation is absolutely still out of control. I'm putting Hoosier values first. Promoting energy independence, opposing woke policies, and fighting for our families is my focus. To learn more about my efforts, go to pence.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
I'm a grandson, a son. I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
ready for incredible speed and high-octane fun. The Indy Airstrip Attack returns to Marion, Indiana Airport August 11th and 13th. This fast-paced racing event showcases some of the most powerful cars in the world. Presented by Revolution and Shift Sector. Get details at showmegrantcounty.com. Grant County, Indiana. Classic cool.
Indiana adventure is near. Come to Grant County this year.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
He's signed the pledge. It's 75 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The field of candidates taking part in the first GOP presidential primary debate is growing. Fox's Jared Halpern.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is the latest Republican presidential candidate to signal he'll sign an RNC loyalty pledge backing the eventual nominee, even as he says former President Trump should never again be president.
I'm just confident that Republican primary voters know not only do we need new leadership in the White House, but we need new leadership in the Republican Party.
Senator Tim Scott became the fifth candidate to sign the pledge. It's one of the criteria set for candidates to participate in the first debate on August 23rd. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Target is recalling over 2 million scented candles that might shatter while burning. The recall issued Thursday affects 5.5-ounce 1-wick candles and 20-ounce 3-wick candles sold in glass jars. Target says that it has received 19 reports of jars shattering while the wick is burning. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatments at 317-559-PAIN.
I'm so sorry you have just reached my answering machine.
Are you ready to do some blowing? Some hot mouthing? That's what's coming up today with voicemails.
What?
That's what somebody said you were doing. And we'll get to that coming up. 317-684-8444. That is the phone number.
Have you ever considered an OnlyFans, Casey? Maybe that would be the best place for you instead of these very valuable public airwaves.
Hey, these are somebody else's words. I'm just quoting them.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little, well, I was going to say risque, but given that intro, I don't know if that's the right word I want to use. We've never done this before on the voicemails. I'm going to allow one voicemail to answer another voicemail.
Oh, great.
And you know, one of the things on this show is we dish it out, but we take it. And you know, we all the time play voicemails of people who are upset at us or don't like us or frustrated with us. And one of the things people continue to want to talk about is our little interaction Ethan and I had the other day, back and forth. If you missed the show, I had reached my limit with Ethan on his comments about Trump and people who question what happened during the election. And again, I'm going to be very clear. We tell you how the rules are written here, and we're honest with each other, and you know, we open up the doors on how it works. Ethan got a tongue lashing, not because he has an opinion, but I felt it was a very flippant way repeatedly that Ethan had expressed that opinion, and I had heard it from multiple people, multiple times he had been on this show, about anytime questions or Trump asking questions about the 2020 election were brought up. And I had issued a warning on that if it happened again, I was not going to take it anymore. I tried very, 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 very hard, and I always am, in case he knows this, whenever there's a fill-in host, to be gracious and try to put them in a position where they can succeed. And we have different people who fill in who have different skill sets, And it is a pain in the ass when Casey is not here because you have to put our show together around whoever's working and try to make it work so that they can succeed. And Casey will tell you, I always try to do that. When somebody different fills in, I always put them in a position where they can succeed. And I am this may surprise people, I'm very patient.
Yes.
I'm very patient, and I had reached my limit on this, and there was a warning issued. And I said, if he does it again, I'm going off the rails on the show. He chose to do it. It's not that he had the opinion. It's the repeated flippant nature, which I felt was very disrespectful to tens of millions of people in this country and the tens of thousands of people who listen to this radio show every day. And Ethan's a big boy. Ethan's a good radio talk show guy. He took it. He's an adult. We love Ethan. Everybody should listen to Saturday Night on the Circle, 7 to 9. But Ethan's a big boy. We act like it was like some, adult who was threatening a child or something. No, Ethan's a grown-ass man. He can take it. So we got a phone call, and we play the critical ones the same way as we do the praise ones.
Yep.
So here we go. Here's the phone call.
Love the show. Listen pretty much every day. But, Rob, I'm mad at you.
Oh.
I think you and everyone else just kind of like missed the point Ethan was trying to make the other day. Because I've been sitting on it for a while and like, I'm going to get my 2 cents. So keep in mind, I don't agree with Ethan, but I still think you're in the wrong the way you handled it because that's not the point Ethan was trying to make. He originally was trying to say that if Trump says the election is stolen, which I agree, like it was, there was shenanigans, all that other bull crap, that what's the point then? If he says, it's, rigged and I don't have any chance of winning, but I'm going to waste your time and run anyway. I think that's the point Ethan was trying to make. And it all got blown out of proportion. So, and also, why did you snap at him when he is just a commentator and his opinion literally means like nothing in terms of, policies and stuff like that, but you let sleazy Shrevey walk? That is what's really infuriating. I don't even live in Marion County. I just visit every now and then. I'm in Brown County. So it still makes me mad that just because he bought you Wendy's, you buttered him up and just let him go. It's like, come on, Rob. I don't even want to know what to say. Like, I'm getting worked up just talking about it again.
And she's driving, so be careful.
Yes, we hope you're using a hands-free device or Eric Holcomb will come after you. Okay, so a couple things I want to address, and then we got a phone call which actually addresses this directly.
Okay.
Number one, first of all, I love the fact that she thinks because Jefferson Shreve is a joke brought me Wendy's 3 months ago.
That was going to make you go soft on him.
Remember when we had that staff meeting, Casey, and you and I got together and said, let's go easy on Shreve because he brought us a bacon sandwich 3 months ago.
Yeah, we had a whole meeting about that.
The interview...
We did not.
The interview we did with Shreve was widely applauded because we had a finite amount of time and many, many things because this plan had just been, this was before all the TV ads and everything else that we wanted to get through. We gave him a chance to hang himself, and he did.
Yeah.
We asked the questions, and we got a better result than if I had sat there and screamed at the guy for being an idiot.
Yeah.
Because he answered the questions, and everybody walked out of that interview
knowing where he stood.
Exactly.
Yeah. Had we just gone and blasted him out of the gate, he would have clammed up and stopped talking.
Right.
And we wouldn't have gotten any answers out of him. You were very diplomatic during that whole thing. I'm the one who was going at him a little harder.
Yeah.
So
I told her, so you got to calm down here. We're hosts here.
Yeah. Had we just, been angry with him out of the gate, it wouldn't have done any good. But because we went through it calmly and let him talk, give him enough rope.
Now, let's address, because I know Ethan's in the chat. Hello, Ethan. We love you. Ethan knew what he was doing. Ethan, it's not that you have an opinion about the election. You were being very flippant and dismissive, as you have been repeatedly. It's not that we differ in opinion, but you go out of your way to piss people off about this when we laid out very clearly there are tens of millions of people who believe. And what is Trump supposed to do? Well, because it happened last time, I just won't run it again, and no one else should run it. We should just give it to the Democrats. That's ludicrous. It is Every American should be pointing out what happened in places like Pennsylvania to try to fight and stop it from happening again. Now, I don't know how you win that battle, but the answer is not to simply stop fighting. Now, we got a phone call that addressed this, and we've never done this before, I don't think these people know each other, but I thought the two calls just kind of marry together, and we're very fair. We take the heat, we give the heat. Let's play them both.
Good morning. This is Jeremiah, daily listener. And yes, Rob, you were spot on yesterday about Ethan Hatcher. I mean, to be honest, it gets annoying because you're right. There's one thing to express your opinion or state what you feel or believe, but yet when you start being, the way he was, like you said, he's dismissive, and sometimes it's disrespectful, it sounds. And you're right. He just keeps going on and on and on and on. It's like, I don't blame you. This wasn't the first time that I felt like he had come on your guys' show, and in my feeling, it is a way of disrespecting it. Not saying he did, but that's kind of how it feels. Anyway, you were right. He was wrong. It's your show, but it's not about right or wrong. I just believe what you did was warranted, and you were correct. You'd had enough, and, keep up the good work.
Two passionate people expressing differing opinions. Okay, I'm going to pull the curtain back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Apparently, and I wish I had heard it. I missed the show that day.
You're very invested in yourself, Casey, over this radio show.
I was taking care of somebody.
Just kidding.
But as I pull the veil out, apparently this made for some great radio.
Oh, it's great.
Because everybody is talking about this conversation.
We'll probably get a Marconi out of it.
Yeah.
Do I have to cut it in half and give half of it to Ethan if I win?
Yes. Yes, you do. You have to share it with him because he was part of it.
Okay, real quick. Well, I wasn't going to play this one first, but since you how did you kick off the segment? There was a lot of
blowing and hot mouthing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to play this right away, but I guess we can't go to a break without playing it because then you could get fined by the FCC or something.
Not my words. I'm just quoting.
We have long been critical of the Pence family, and we've said if anybody can prove me incorrect on the things that I've said, whether it's Greggy running the Keel Brothers Oil Company into the ground and leaving the taxpayers with millions of dollars in environmental damage, or leaving the bank holding the bag on millions of dollars of paper, if you could disprove me that Mike Pence has long been just zero great accomplishments, whether it's as a congressman or a governor, whatever it might be. You call this program and we will love to hear those and play those. And I gotta admit, Casey, it took a very long time, but somebody finally got me.
Rob, when you're doing all your blowing and hot mouthing on the GOP, please get some of your facts straight. Mike Pence is the younger brother. Greg Pence is 2 years older.
Oh. They got me.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Oh.
They got me.
2% Pence.
That's it.
The younger.
She got me. I had their ages mixed up.
You got them flip-flopped.
Nobody can ever offer anything about the policies or the things they've done. No, you got me.
The age.
I got their ages mixed up. Gosh darn it, Casey. Man, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, it's all over for me.
Get your research correct. It's 10:43. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When we come back, the well-assembled lady on the airplane.
I am telling you right now.
She has spoken. She is. I feel like she is one step away from an OnlyFans account at this point. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel show, Rand Paul referring Fauci for prosecution. Plus, Hammer's back just in time for Beer Sample Friday. 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC. Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Feeling the heat? High temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait till you see your energy bills. The solution? I recommend my friends at Window Nation for new energy-efficient windows. Your home stays comfortable and cool, and you will save on those high energy bills. Not to mention the incredible savings Window Nation is offering right now.
Get 50% off any style window. Bows, bays, double hangs, sliders. 50% off. Plus, put zero down and make zero payments with 0% interest for 24 months. And this week only, receive an additional 10% off. So, maintain your chill, lower your bill, and fill your home with new Window Nation windows. Get 50% off all style windows and pay nothing for 2 years. 866-90-NATION. Call this week, get an additional 10% off. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Let me ask you a question. What's 12 times 3?
It's 36. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912. This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy, wants to help you earn that 36% bonus at 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Dive into the summer of Jeep with York Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Plainfield. Dreaming of a new Jeep Compass? Yours for just $319 a month. Or take on the new Grand Cherokee at $359 a month. Get employee pricing on a new Jeep Gladiator. You pay what we pay. This month only at York Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Start your next deal at YorkCDJRofPlainfield.com.
We're not number one.
You are.
You're number one at York.
Right now, take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
How very exciting. Hammer's back, and he joins us in the studio from the Hammer and Nigel show.
You look fat.
I feel fat.
That's so nice.
I just got back from vacation, man, and I ate so much and I drank so much.
What?
Way more than usual. So I'm a man of my word, and we're going to do the weigh-in again starting now. Now, here are the rules of engagement. For somebody who may be new to this, we did this a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah.
I was at about 265 pounds.
Yep.
And I thought, man, I need to lose some damn weight.
You are morbidly obese.
And every Friday, I will come in here, step on a scale, and if I'm equal or I've lost weight, survive in advance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I've gained weight, even if it's 0.1, I have to put $5 into a virtual pot that will go to Rob Kendall.
Yeah.
Now, you can use this for whatever reasons you want.
Cheryl at the Applebee's.
Right.
Start a scholarship for Livy.
Babysitter money, whatever.
Why did you put $7 in a scholarship account in 2023?
So that's how it is.
Great.
And the goal is I want to lose 50 pounds.
Oh, that's great.
So the number we're going with, and again, I did not bring the scale in, kind of still getting used to being back.
Yep.
Got in late last night. Big Daddy here is looking at 271 pounds.
Wow. Now, you've always carried your weight kind of well, like we joke, but I don't look at you and say, oh my gosh, you're one step away from my 600-pound life.
No.
I don't feel like you look like a person who is a obese person. However, I did, when you got done last year, was it last? I guess it would be last year. I did see a noticeable difference when you put those photos side by side, which clearly it's 50 pounds.
Yeah, and again, you saw this firsthand, both of you. I gain weight quickly and I lose weight quickly.
Yeah, you do.
It's just a matter of me not drinking so much beer, eating so many donuts like you've got in studio today.
Yeah, I said, hey, fatty, you want a donut?
So 271 is the number we're going to start with
Okay,
here.
271. I'm so excited for this. And here's my favorite part of the weigh-in. So the first really 4 or 5 weeks, Hammer is usually gangbusters. He'll lose maybe, it's like 20 pounds, I think, last time. And then it starts getting tougher, and that's when I start watching Hammer starve himself on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to take the largest dump he possibly can on
Heads
a
to the
Friday
bathroom.
morning. And It's really, to watch his misery, it brings me great joy. And so after the first 4 or 5 weeks really is when the competition starts for me.
I want to do this like the right way this time and not have a week where I just lose 10 pounds. Like, I want to make it more methodical this time around.
Oh, we all know that won't happen. I'm gonna see you a Friday morning. I haven't eaten in 24 hours and I've taken 9 peas this morning.
I noticed it last time when you were wearing shirts that were just a little billowy on you.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen again.
Well, I'm also a product of the 90s, and I still like the baggy stuff. I like loose shorts, I like big shirts.
And look, you're never going to be the, sex machine image you were in that senior photo that you've so eloquently made available to the public, but you could get close.
If you look at my senior high school photo, you will get pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, you were a good-looking guy. I don't mind saying you were well put together. I mean, it's been all downhill since then, but you were no, I mean, you were doing well for yourself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And again, I think right now, coming off of vacation week where it's sugary drinks
You're at
and
peak level.
food and all that kind of stuff, now is the time.
Hey, did you see who we have in the studio today?
Yeah, our buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
So Riley emailed us. This was in the spring, and said, "Hey, I'm graduating from Ball State. I'm a big fan of of all the shows. We'd love for you guys to come to my graduation party." And we played a little game with Riley where we acted like, "Oh, we'd love to come, but we're all busy. Thanks for the invite." And then Hammer and I showed up, and we pounded quite a few brews at Riley's graduation party, which is partially why you're so fat.
Right. And let the record clearly state, Nigel actually did blow you off.
And our favorite part, Hammer, and Riley and I were laughing about this, as we are leaving the graduation party, there was like a pallet of the pre-made margarita stuff.
Yes.
And it was good stuff.
Real good. We drank quite a bit while we were there.
Yeah. And as we were leaving, we were just pointing out, hey, there's these pallets of this very fine pre-made margarita stuff. And Riley's disinterested cousin was on her phone and goes, take as much as you want.
Take it.
Don't cost nothing.
And he said, really? He goes, oh, yeah, Riley would want you to take it with you.
Riley wants you to have that.
And I looked at Rob. Rob looked at me. I think she's right. We took a bottle home.
So to set the record straight, she was very interested in the party. She was doing work stuff, according to her.
Oh, yeah.
She looked like it.
She should work in radio then, because that's not how hard we work.
And then she was right. We definitely had way more margarita mix than we need. We still have like 10, 15 things of it.
Why didn't you bring some in today?
I told Rob I meant to bring it. I had it all planned. I was going to bring everyone a gift.
Next
then
time.
I forgot.
The great thing about Riley's graduation party was by the time Hammer and I drank all that stuff there, and then we took that real nice stuff with us, we actually made money off your graduation party. So it worked
And
well.
we brought a gift, though. We did. We did not
did.
come empty-handed. That's the rules of the open house.
Thank
You
you
come
guys
with some
again.
money, and then you drink that money's worth when you're there.
Absolutely. Did you see the well-assembled lunatic lady has spoken?
No, I didn't know she spoke.
Yeah. So for those who don't remember, the lady on the airplane who has captivated the fantasies of men across the fruited plain, here is this well-assembled lady going nuts on an airplane.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
So her name is, what is it, Gomez, right? It's
Yes.
Tiffany
Gomez.
I love that you're already, and her age and her address. And
She lives at a $2 million mansion near the Dallas area.
Yes, she
I'm
does.
well aware, Rob.
Yes.
Well aware.
36-year-old marketing exec.
Yeah, so she told Daily Mail, quote, no one knows anyone else's story and no one should judge. No one knows what it's like. Now, the detailed report is wild if you haven't read it. Not only did she get kicked off the airplane, then it appears she kept trying to get back onto the airplane.
Yes. I told the coupon lady last night, if our plane gets delayed one more time, I will buy you a diamond ring if you stand up in the middle of the airport and do that same routine.
I am telling you right now.
She went on to say, quote, they're staking out my house. They're staking out my neighbors. They're going through my mail. She stated so much of what is out there is inaccurate, but then declined to comment further.
So that's where she draws the line,
Yeah,
though?
like she won't, what? Tell us what happened. Everybody wants to know.
She was apparently fighting with a family member.
I don't buy that, though. Do you buy that?
No, and this whole story about the headphones, earbuds, or whatever, I think it's crap. I swear to you, I think she saw Carrot Top, who was on that flight. And if you've seen Carrot Top, he doesn't look real. Maybe that's who she was talking about.
Yeah, Nige figured maybe she had taken some medication before she got on the flight. Maybe she'd had a couple mimosas or something. You mix that together. You see Carrot Top, and you could see how that whole thing might come together.
All I know is when that buxom chick starts getting kooky, something about me feels alive inside.
Well, and the thing of it is, she hasn't tried to monetize it. So to me, it does tell me maybe she did something she's embarrassed by, and she wants it to go away.
Or she's already got money. She lives in a $2 million house.
Well, she does.
People who already have money don't go running to OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She was holding on to her $2,000 purse and didn't care if she left that behind. To me, she seemed like she was really scared or upset about something.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in public, Casey? I don't even want to ask you, Hammer. I'm not sure we could say it on the
I
airwaves.
can't say it on the radio.
He doesn't. It's like public, private, wherever. Oh, I don't know, Rob.
Oh, come on, Casey. Surely you've done something that you're just mortified by.
Every single day between 9 and noon, I embarrass myself publicly. But, she heads this marketing firm, and her clients are Xbox and Microsoft. And since that whole thing she did on the plane, she locked all of their profiles down.
Oh, wow.
I want to hire her to run the Hammer and Nigel show.
You absolutely should.
She needs to be the official marketing director of the Hammer and Nigel show.
She is very attractive, very pretty.
Like, can we get her to be the MC at a night with WIBC? Can we have her, in that moderator role? I want her.
I don't think you could pay her enough.
Yeah, that'd be way better than Tony Katz.
You don't have the budget for her.
Hey, you're back. What's coming up this afternoon, Chubby?
Oh, I don't know. It feels like I need to address this whole Joe Hogsett mayor situation and Shreve's camp. Basically trying to say, look, there are other hosts at WIBC that like my plan. Well, guess what, pal? The one guy that lives in Indianapolis is back today, and he's pissed off. Let's go.
Thank you, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
At DeLong Landscaping, their goal is to create the best curb appeal and outdoor living space for you. That could mean landscape design and installation, retaining walls, outdoor lighting, pergolas, and fire features. DeLong Landscaping specializes in pavers, concrete, stamped concrete, and decks. Google DeLong Landscaping, find them on Facebook, or call them today to schedule your free estimate at 317-667-5163. That's DeLong Landscaping at 317-667-5163.
4 races, 3 days.
The stars of NASCAR and IndyCar return for Brickyard Weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Friday, August 11th, the next generation of Indy Next by Firestone takes to the road course.
Saturday features the NTT IndyCar Series Gallagher Grand Prix, followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150 presented by Advance Auto Parts.
Then Sunday the 13th, the NASCAR Cup Series takes on the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard.
Power, speed, precision.
And family friendly. Kids under 15 get in free.
Tickets at IMS.com.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
Police were busy on the west side and who Republicans are backing for Senate. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
This is a Fox News alert, an apparent Trump victory in court. I'm Dave Anthony. The judge overseeing the election interference case sides with Trump lawyers at a hearing, indicating she will not go along with a protective order that the special counsel wants to limit the former president's comments about the case. Here's Fox's Shannon Bream.
So what his attorneys have argued is if there's sensitive material, let's parse that out. And yes, we will say that can't be used publicly. They didn't want a big blanket order that said that any evidence that comes in, he can't talk about any of that. And it sounds like the judge is siding with him on that, saying, yes, sensitive information is one thing, but there's a whole lot of other information he should be able to talk about.
The former president has said the prosecutions are election interference. More Trump challengers in the Republican 2024 race are signing a pledge to back whoever the nominee is, even if it is the former president. That includes his ex-VP, who doesn't think his old boss should be elected again after what happened in 2020. Mike Pence also tells Fox Digital,
I'm just confident that Republican primary voters know not only do we need new leadership in the White House, but we need new leadership in the Republican Party.
5 other candidates have signed that pledge, which is required, along with polling and fundraising thresholds, to be in the first debate in 12 days. Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Doug Burgum. Now to Hawaii, where the town of Lahaina burned to the ground.
Cell service and phone lines have been cut out all across the west side of Maui. Many people can't reach their loved ones or friends. They don't know their fate as hundreds remain missing.
55 others are confirmed dead in the wildfires. Fox Weather's Max Gordon is there.
This is still a very active scene on a lot of parts of the island. There's still many hot spots. Firefighters are still trying to put out the flames in some areas.
The United Nations has just reported 5 UN staffers kidnapped in Yemen 18 months ago have been freed and are in good health. This as the U.S. works out a prisoner swap with Iran to release 5 jailed Americans there. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who police had to save. It's 74 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Another teenager shot this morning on the west side. The call came in at about 2 a.m. to IMPD, and they arrived at an apartment complex next to West Michigan Street and Holt Road. The teenage boy is alive at the hospital. Republican presidential candidates, including your former governor and vice president, are at the Iowa State Fair.
Mike Pence arrived on Thursday. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and not everybody was happy to see him.
He's not a Christian. We don't buy it.
While on stage, Pence took a question from a man who says that Tucker Carlson ruined his career by embarrassing him at a debate.
When some people put out a video from that cut off the back half of my answer, I simply tweeted the whole 3 minutes and said, we used to call that fake news.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Republican Party has endorsed Congressman Jim Banks for the U.S. Senate as he seeks the nomination. The early endorsement came last night at the Indiana Republican dinner with party chairman Kyle Hupfer, saying that it has become clear that Banks is the conservative of choice. Banks is running to succeed Mike Braun in the Senate. You've heard about the wildfires in Hawaii. Wildfires aren't just damaging to the crops and land when they happen. They can also hurt the water supply, says Purdue engineering professor Andrew Welton.
When you lose pressure, though, that is one of the risk factors of contamination. So during fires, water systems sometimes become overburdened, and there's not enough water in the system, and firefighters can't fight the fires.
And he says when that happens, contaminants can get sucked into a water system and mix with the water and not making it able to drink. Racing is a tradition in Indianapolis, and that tradition continues this weekend with Brickyard Weekend.
This will be the 30th
race weekend that we've had for Brickyard. So that event in and of itself is beginning to become a tradition.
IMS President Doug Bowles, both the IndyCar Series and the NASCAR Cup Series are sharing the IMS road course in the next 3 days. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The American dream, but today's economy is challenging. Have you fallen behind on your mortgage payments? Many homeowners facing financial difficulty often feel lost and don't know where to turn for help. The airwaves are filled with offers of fast and simple relief. However, many find these offers often lead to damaged credit, higher debt, and ultimately the loss of one's home. If it seems like there's no way out, know there is legitimate help available. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling is a nonprofit organization that has provided answers and concrete solutions to consumers in situations just like yours for more than 60 years. Our certified housing specialists will work with you to review your finances and create a custom plan that's right for your specific situation. NFCC member agencies provide free and affordable help and meet U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development standards. Call 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
It's an action-packed show today, Casey. Let's go!
And Casey Daniels.
The gang is all back together.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, August 11th. It is 5 minutes after 11. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. His name is Rob Kendall. You can find him on Twitter, Rob M. Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. I'm there as well. Casey Daniels 317. And right now you can see us both on YouTube. Type in Kendall and Casey into the YouTube search bar. Okay, so this was a really surprising admission that happened from NBC's Chuck Todd. He said that the Texas Governor Greg Abbott was right when he said busing migrants to blue cities would turn Democratic politicians against the Biden administration and pressure the White House to get control of the border. And it seems it may have not done anything other than get their attention, but it has done that because now White House officials have met with the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and they are to find ways to collaborate on a response of the ongoing asylum seeker crisis that's happening in that city.
Yeah, what this has really done is it has exposed these mayors, governors, whatever, for what they really are. And in reality, they're what we call NIMBY people, not in my backyard people. And you see this a lot of times at a local level where, hey, we need more restaurants in town, or we need more businesses, or the taxes here are out of control. We need more commercial development. Okay, great, we'll put it here. No, that's too close to my house, man. You can't do that. We always used to chuckle at those people, and we called them NIMBY people, not in my backyard. They want the stuff, but they don't want it where it's going to impact them. And that's basically, these people are complete hypocrites. They don't really want mass illegal immigration. And it was easy when it wasn't happening, certainly to the level it is now under someone like Trump, to go, well, if you're an illegal immigrant, you can come here. We're a sanctuary city. Evil orange man, bad. He hates immigrants. Well, the people weren't coming in mass. And now that you're getting what you say you wanted to get, just like the NIMBY people, you don't want it because it's impacting you.
Well, and that's the big point that you make there is the New York City is a sanctuary city. And at first, oh, yeah, that's great. We want this. But when they're getting them, when the buses are arriving, oh, no, holy crap, we don't want this anymore. It's putting a strain on their system. And what is Mayor Eric Adams' answer to that? Well, it's to go on TV and ask for more money.
It was yesterday you said you're on pace to spend $5 billion on migrant care in this fiscal year. To give people some perspective, that is more than the city spends on sanitation, parks, and the fire department combined. So you're asking for money here. Do I have that right?
A combination, more than money, because the faucet is flowing. We have to stop the faucet. We have to make sure we have a real decompression strategy at the border. And we have to ensure that we have real immigration reform, because it's going to continue. It's not sustainable. When you look at 10,000 a month, the math just does not add up.
So you notice he didn't say actually secure the border. They always use words like comprehensive immigration strategy, which is put them somewhere else. That's what he's saying. He wants these people to have, the Democrats, these mayors, governors, whatever, want these people to have legal status, because this is what this is all about. Getting these people into the country so you will have a generation of reliable Democrat voters who are dependent upon government resources and services. He doesn't want them to stop coming. He wants to have a mechanism in which the pain is spread out equally, but the reality is he and others brought the pain on themselves by saying, please come here. They didn't mean it. It's like, not that you would ever do this, Casey, but have you ever told somebody that you kind of have been friends with, that may be more friends with you than you are with them? Oh yeah, we'll have to get together sometime soon.
You have no intention of really getting together.
You know, you come over whenever you want. Okay, how's Tuesday? Well, you know, but you said come over whenever you want. If you extend the invitation, somebody's going to take you up on it. And what has been made very clear, and it has been made very clear by these migrants that they have caught illegally crossing the border time and time and time again, that we were told by Joe Biden and the Biden administration to come here. The perception is you will be taken care of. And these mayors and governors in these radical left states have fed these people's understanding of come here and we will take care of you.
No, I don't do that, Rob. I'm a nice person, but I believe that you've done that to me before.
What?
Oh, yeah, we're watching the football game at my dad's house if you want to come over. And then I did.
And you did. And did I?
I don't think you really expected that.
Did I say, oh, this is crap that Casey's over at my house? No, I said, okay, great. Come over, watch the ball game. If I didn't want you to come over to our house, I wouldn't have extended the invitation.
True, I did need the address.
But the point is, that's the equivalent of what?
Getting the blow off.
Yeah, this is equivalent of what Eric Adams is doing. It'd be like if I said, hey, you're welcome to come over and watch the game, and you said, sure, and I go, I didn't mean it.
I can't believe she really came. Okay, so
by the
Eric,
way, I'd like to point out, you and your man screwed Notre Dame's entire season.
Yeah, it was us.
Because Notre Dame was winning that game against Ohio State at halftime. They were dominating the game, and then you two skedoodled on out the door, and Notre Dame played like a peewee football team the rest of that game. So I hope you're happy.
It wasn't us. It was the luck eyes that did that. But Eric Adams said that the influx of migrants is projected to cost his city $12 billion by 2025. Jim Banks tweeted out yesterday, your fave.
Oh, yeah.
He said the number of illegals crossing our southern border could fill Assembly Hall in less than 3 days.
So that's Jim Banks. He's the guy who voted for Kevin McCarthy 15 times, right? And in the debt ceiling that Kevin McCarthy rammed through, there was nothing that required a secure border in the debt ceiling vote. Was that right? Did I miss that? So it's super weird that Jim Banks is really upset about the border not being secure when the guy who he told America how great he was and what a fearless leader he was and how he was the guy to fix all the problems keeps giving away money and funding all of Biden's priorities and doesn't get simple things like border security as a part of that. It's so weird. It's almost like Jim Banks is I can't say that. It's almost like Jim Banks is well, he's rather disingenuous.
Okay, so Eric Adams' comments, they came just a few days after the governor of Massachusetts declared a state of emergency over their surge of migrants. And she says that it has left social services overwhelmed. And they're, of course, demanding more funding and help from the federal government. But also, she wants everyone to house immigrants.
Most importantly, if you have an extra room or suite in your home,
you first.
Please consider hosting a family.
You first.
Safe housing and shelter is our most pressing need. Become a sponsor family. You can contact the Brazilian Worker Center for more information on how you can step up if you're willing to have an additional family be part of your family. If you're a local official, a college president, a business owner, or a faith leader with an available building or space in your community, please work with us to offer it as a shelter site. If you're a social service provider, please consider becoming an emergency assistance homeless shelter provider. Our resources are stretched thin there as well. And if you're a hotel or a motel owner, consider opening it up for emergency assistance. If you're a landlord or a property owner, we can use you too. We can connect you with service providers to help transition families into permanent housing. Everyone has something they can offer.
You notice it is not how do we solve the issue in terms of stopping illegal immigration.
Right.
They want the people here. They just don't want them impeding on their state or their city. They want the people here. And look, you get the government you deserve, and these radical left states and cities have elected these people, and good luck.
Well, not to mention how she says if you're a hotel or a motel, let these people stay with you. That's how they make their money, by the way.
Sure.
Hey, if you're a landlord, you know, how you make your income, just give it away for free.
Well, that's the way they view it, though. It's not yours, it's theirs.
Her first.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as she hosts someone in the governor's mansion first, then maybe.
Casey,
yeah.
Are you someone who ever gambles? Do you go to the casinos? Do you ever throw a few pennies here or there down on blackjack or red or whatever it might be?
Yes.
Would you mind? And I'm hitting you just off the top of your head on this. What's the most you've ever lost in betting? Does anything stand out? Have you ever just kind of said,
Are you talking about in one sitting or over like a long weekend in Vegas?
Well, whatever. Either one. Have you ever just said, wow, I just got a little out of control on that one?
Probably $300-400.
Over a weekend?
Or a day.
Oh, yeah sure. That's fine. Boy, you got a big problem, lady. All right.
I don't do it often.
When we come back, you will not believe what a new report says one famous professional athlete has lost throughout his life betting on sports.
Oh, yeah, my problem's not this big. It is 15 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Stopped on 465
From
again.
the north side.
We haven't moved on 37
to
since
the south side.
Avoid south side 465
to the west side.
Yeah, stopped on westbound 465
to
again.
the east
People
side.
Gridlock all the way through the east side.
Traffic's a bear.
Drove into a ditch through the tree line.
And
just
Matt Bear,
traffic stop on the right.
He's a beast.
Traffic jam of epic proportion.
Helping you navigate the.
Oh, come on.
And the.
Let's go.
And the. With Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of 4 main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND-disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Shooing seagulls away from our beach snacks is easy, but keeping my frequent heartburn away, that was a full-time job. I had to chew up to 10 antacids a day to manage it. Then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Thanks to Prilosec OTC, now my heartburn's on vacation too.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's new design center on 146th Street at River Road or on North Shadeland. DrexelIN.com.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
I would like to point out that when I lost the couple $100 gambling. It was a special occasion. I was with my sister on a vacation weekend, and that was the bankroll. It did not turn out the way that I was hoping it to. I got to learn that lesson that when you're up, cash out and go home.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's how they get you.
I know.
Yeah.
You think, I won a little. I can keep doing that. And then it just doesn't happen that way.
Here is my best advice to you if you are a person who is a casual gambler, or if you're a person with serious gambling issues. There is a reason those casinos are in big, beautiful buildings, and you live where you live.
Right, exactly.
Right? The house
always wins.
Yes, finds a way.
Finds a way.
The majority of the time to figure out how to take your money.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it the first time, they'll get you the next time.
I was playing penny slots at one time, and I think it was probably the biggest jackpot I ever won. It was like a $3 bet, and I won $1,200.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Did you get out of there?
I did.
Oh, good for you.
That time I did leave.
Yeah.
When they have to come over with a piece of paper to get your info because they want to tax you.
Absolutely.
That's when you know you...
Holcomb's got to get his. No
exactly.
doubt.
It is 19 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. But my little fun time gambling, my little penny slots, that's nothing compared to Phil Mickelson.
This is unbelievable. So ESPN had the report. There's a new book coming out. It's called Gambler: Secrets from a Life of Risk. And it is an account of one of the most prolific gamblers in the history of this country. And this guy was friends for years with Phil Mickelson, who Billy Walters is the guy's name. And, of course, Phil Mickelson is one of the most famous golfers of all time and one of the most controversial golfers of all time. And in this book, Billy Walters alleges that Phil Mickelson has bet $1 billion with a B dollars in his life and has lost $100 million, and alleged that Mickelson once tried to gamble on the Ryder Cup, which is the international, it's like the Olympics of golf. I mean, now they technically have Olympics in golf now, but it is the USA against Europe. It happens every 2 years. It's one of the biggest events in all of golf. And it is well documented, whatever the numbers are, that Phil Mickelson had, maybe still does, he claims no, a very serious betting, gambling, basically was an addiction. And he was... I don't know if to say he was under investigation is right. It probably is. I mean, there were serious issues related to that and money that went in and went out and how it happened. Now, Mickelson was never charged with anything, but think about the fact that he bet allegedly, like even if it's $500 million, even if it's half of what this guy alleges, $500 million.
Yeah.
And let's say he lost half of what this guy claims, $50 million. That is I can't even fathom how you could lose $50 million on anything.
How you walk up to a table or place that at a sports book.
Well, he had, look, this has changed now because clearly sports betting, the things that Mickelson allegedly did were well in advance of when sports betting was legal in many states, including here in Indiana. It was, other than Vegas, it was totally no, and he allegedly had some sort of offshore account by which he would place the bets. Now, what's interesting is this Billy Walters guy, as I said, was one of the most prolific sports bettors in the history of this country, and he was so good at it that bettors would stop taking his bets because, well, does he have insider information?
Right.
Nobody should be as good as this guy is, blah, blah, blah. So they wouldn't take his bets. So this guy would use basically shell people as a shell to bet for him, whether it was, hey, I'm going to give you the money and you bet it, or you bet and I'll tell you the advice and we'll split the profits. They don't go into great detail in this article about exactly how these were set up, but Mickelson allegedly was one of these guys he was involved in this with, and he said he had access basically to Mickelson's offshore account and the bets he was placing, and he said, that's kind of where he came up with these estimates based on the amount of money, in part, is because of what he knew about these offshore accounts. I mean, it's a staggering amount of money. And when you think about all the poor and suffering people in this country. And I'm not talking about people who refuse to work. I'm talking about people who have, disabilities or veterans or whatever. You think about the dude, even if it's $50 million, well, just wasted $50 million. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, you know what, though? It is his money, and it's his right to do with it what he wants. I've heard Michael Jordan has put in big bets as well.
The problem is, though, it's not your right to do with your money if you're doing something illegal with your money. And now, when he was placing these bets...
You think it was illegal?
Well, unless he was doing it in Las Vegas, which as far as I know, it wasn't necessarily in Las Vegas, then it maybe, that's obviously for someone else. The criminal justice system has never charged Phil Mickelson with anything. But according to this dude, it was some pretty shady
questionable stuff.
And you're right. It is anybody's money they earn legally. And whether I think... Obviously, I am pro sports betting being legal, and I am pro it's your money. If you want to throw it down the drain, do it. But laws are the laws. I also, as we talked about earlier, think medical marijuana should be legal in Indiana. It is not. I can advocate for laws, but you have to abide by the laws as they are.
The thing that was always shocking to me, I know you've been to Las Vegas. You spent your honeymoon there.
Yes, I did.
Is you could go to a table like a craps table or a roulette table, and somebody who maybe walk up wearing, overalls or just, a flannel. They don't look like, they're going to lay down a lot of money. You wouldn't expect it from them. Walk up to the table and boom, 10 grand, make one bet. And you just never know. Like what their bankroll is in a situation like that.
Well, real quick, I was just going to say, because I know we got to get to a break here in a minute, but speaking of people going to jail, did you see this audio from Rand Paul?
Yeah.
So Rand Paul has referred Anthony Fauci to the Department of Justice for lying under oath. Here was Rand Paul yesterday.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a clear case of perjury in the history of government testimony, and I don't say that lightly. He said adamantly that the government never funded this gain-of-function research. We now have the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has admitted that the funding came from the NIH. We have the acting director, Tabak, of the NIH, admitting it in writing that it came from the NIH. But now we have really the smoking gun, and that is Fauci in private saying the opposite of what he was saying in public.
Okay, so he's saying that Fauci's been lying under oath to Congress, which is against the law, about the gain of function, claiming they've got a real clear case there for perjury. He's saying one thing in private, one thing in public, and that Fauci knew all along that NIH was funding gain of function. And that
there's no way he gets prosecuted. No way. There's no way, even if whoever Trump or whoever wins, if a Republican wins the election, certainly not going to happen under Biden. Nothing ever happens to any of these people, Casey.
Nope.
It's how we started the show, wasn't it? Nothing ever happens to any of these people. That's why it's all a big joke, and you can't take any of it serious because the Republicans, even when they get the opportunity to do something, they never follow through.
They don't. Okay, well, your president, he's back to ignoring his 7th grandchild, and that is coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hey Lonnie, how exciting is Jiffy Lube's new partnership with the AAA Hoosier Motor Club?
It is so great to see two longtime trusted experts in automotive maintenance join forces to provide amazing benefits to each other's clients.
AAA members have always saved at least 15% at Jiffy Lube, but now on Thursdays, all AAA members save $25.
And new AAA members get their first oil change half price plus a free tire rotation. If you aren't a AAA member yet, join today.
Great savings from two names you can trust. Jiffy Lube is a one-stop shop for all your car's maintenance needs, from oil changes and filters to brakes and tires. Jiffy Lube makes sure your car keeps running well.
Those quickie places that simply drain your oil, change your filter, slap you on the tailpipe, and kick you out the door love to brag about forcing you to stay in your car. But at Jiffy Lube, we give you the choice to stay in your car or enjoy the Wi-Fi in our lounge while we vacuum your car for free.
Become a AAA member today and start saving big at Jiffy Lube.
Have you ever dropped off your documents for shredding and wondered what happened to them? At Quick Shred, documents are shred right in front of you at their retail location on East 62nd Street. No appointment needed and convenient curbside assistance is provided. No matter how big or how small, they shred it all. You leave knowing your confidential information has been completely destroyed. Quick Shred is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Quick Shred at 62nd and Benford Boulevard. Quick Shred.
I'm Greg Gossett, the CEO of ERMCO, one of the largest and fastest growing contractors in the Midwest.
We are currently seeking qualified applicants for construction electricians, systems technicians, and experienced construction account managers. At ERMCO, we provide a challenging yet friendly environment where you earn a good wage with great benefits and a solid retirement. Plus, you get the opportunity to work on some of the most interesting projects in Indiana. Learn more at ERMCO.com. A quality connection contractor. Quality work, customer connected.
I had changed the locks, didn't even know where she was living. And then one night she calls to say she's getting treatment. Can I drive? I almost hung up. But then I thought, that's my kid. I chose to put away the hurt and the fear and just see my girl.
Addiction is a disease. Standing by a loved one as they fight it will test your faith, patience, and sanity. But it's possible when you see the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a win for Trump. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. A judge has sided with Trump's lawyers in the case of a protective order asked for by the DOJ when it comes to evidence in his election interference case. The judge says that Trump shouldn't be able to talk about sensitive material, but should not be withheld from talking about other evidence. Former Indiana Governor Mike Pence continues his campaign.
I believe in fiscal responsibility and balanced federal budgets and low taxes and economic growth.
Pence at the Iowa State Fair this week as the Iowa caucuses get closer. The number of people dead from the Hawaii wildfires is now up to 55. Hawaiian leaders expect that number to keep rising as rescue efforts continue in Maui. The fire has left thousands homeless and destroyed up to 1,000 buildings. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Hey, did you have a good night's sleep last night? It is 11:31. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Before we get to this audio of Biden being completely ridiculous, which is better known as A Day That Ends in Y, I did want to say thank you to our very fabulous longtime sponsor here at WIBC, our friends down at Thompson Furniture in Columbus. My wife and I purchased our new bed from them, and they were awesome. Mike came. Mike and his son hooked it up together. They just travel around central Indiana. When you get a bed from Thompson Furniture or whatever you get, it's Mike and his son with the van, and they do it, and they were in and out like that.
Nice.
Totally clean, totally professional. Place looked better than when they showed up. In and out, lickety split, and the bed is awesome. So I wanted to say thank you to our great friends, great longtime advertisers here, Thompson Furniture in Columbus. When you need a bed, you go see them.
You had a good night's sleep last night, or was baby wild last night?
My wife had a wonderful night's sleep. Casey, here's the thing, and anybody who has been married or in some sort of long-term relationship, as the man, you basically give up all your rights and desires, and that includes the bed. So when it came to picking the bed, I told my wife, when we went down to Thompson Furniture, Spencer did a great job taking care of us. They do the thing, hey, lay on all these beds, tell us which ones you want. And my wife went around and laid on all the beds, and then Spencer said, okay, hey, it's your turn. I said, it doesn't matter
what she wants.
It's whatever she wants.
You're a good man, Rob Kendall.
Yes, I just, she is doing great with the mattress, and that's all that matters.
You're so cute when you tell me that the baby's wild. I think our listeners would love an update on Livy. She's turning 6 weeks old.
She is now 6 weeks old.
Okay.
And I've said this before, and I will say this again. It is an amazing thing when you have a baby. I don't know if your daughter was this way when she was a baby. Olivia is perfectly well behaved between the hours of about 4 a.m. and midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, she's just a great baby, doesn't make a lot of noise, just very calm, eats when you tell her to eat. It's just perfect. And then something happens at midnight, Casey.
And it's party time.
And I don't know if it's a thing like within Gremlins where somehow she's getting fed after midnight, but it is party central at my house between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m.
You sent me the most darling picture. You were holding her, and she was just looking up at you.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's just my favorite picture of the two of you because I can just tell how much she loves you. I mean, you could just see it in her eyes.
Well, that's because I give her food.
Yeah.
And my dog's the same way.
It's a great picture. You're going to want to hold on to that
Here's
one
the other
for
thing,
a really long time.
Yeah, and here's the other thing my kid does, and she is super smart. When she is around other people, and you've seen this, she's perfectly well behaved.
She is.
I mean, she is just the quiet, most calmest, and everybody who comes in contact, what a sweet baby.
Yeah.
And then the moment they're out of there,
it's because she misses him.
There's no way
Don't leave me with this guy.
You're not doing this deliberately. There's no way you're not doing this deliberately.
You know what? And as she gets older, you'll hope that she behaves that way, that she's good around other people and strangers, because if she's got to let it out, let it out with her mom and dad.
Just do it out. Did you know that there is my wife and I were discussing this yesterday. Did you know there's a thing called cute aggression? Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's an actual thing. Like when you see a baby or a dog or whatever, and you just want to like snuggle it, not like in a violent manner or anything. Like you're just, oh my gosh, you're so cute. It's an actual thing. It's called cute aggression, where in your body, it feeds, and you have to be careful with it because obviously, like with a baby, you could potentially
harm the baby,
with no intention whatsoever. But it's an actual thing. It's called cute aggression.
It's like loving too hard.
Yes.
Huh. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. And I said, you are full of crap. And then it turned out she was absolutely not full of crap.
Don't love too hard physically. Speaking of loving children, Joe Biden refusing to provide security for Hunter's love child, Navy.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a whole write-up. London Roberts, who is the mother of Navy Roberts, who is the baby with Hunter and London, Navy.
The stripper he had the kid with.
Yeah, the 7th grandchild that Joe Biden refused to acknowledge for a long time and then acknowledged her. Now he's back to not acknowledging her.
Right.
And he's saying that he's not going to give the mother or Navy Secret Service, although all of his other grandchildren do have Secret Service.
I have a bunch of grandchildren. They all have Secret Service, and my daughter has Secret Service, and, it's just wonderful.
But they don't.
But they don't. Not all the grandchildren do.
So are we back to not acknowledging Navy as the grandkid?
I don't know. The thing that I learned from this entire article, which is on Daily Mail, was that London Roberts, who is the baby mama, is not very good at picking men in her life because she is very concerned that her ex, who is a cage fighter, is bombarding her with threats. He punched a dent in her car. He slashed the wires to her security camera, made a bunch of frightening comments about her and the baby. And so clearly she's not very good at picking gentlemen callers.
No. Time out here, Casey. Are you implying that a woman who makes her money grinding on random men might not be good at picking out men for her personal life?
I'm alluding to something like that.
Okay.
But here we go. It's Joe Biden. He's losing to the teleprompter once again.
Representative Mark Takano.
I don't even know what he's talking about there. What's he talking about?
He's trying to name some guy, some U.S. representative. He was at some event, and it's just, why can't you speak normal? Like, remember how awful they were?
Aren't you so proud that's your president?
Remember how mean they were to Bush? And there's plenty of reasons to be mean to Bush.
Strategery.
Bush was, he's a dumbass. He can't even form sentences. He uses words that aren't words. This guy, it's every single time. At least Bush, it was just every so often there was some sort of gaffe, and it was once a speech. This guy, it's every single time.
Yes. Every time. Do we have time to get to the CNN reporter, John King?
Well, it's half your show.
And his surprise?
Yes. Oh, I love this.
Okay, so what was he doing? He was kind of doing like a little town hall thing
Yes.
where they got a room full of Republicans and he was trying to get in there and understand them, right?
You see this quite a bit where these liberal networks will do a little, round table, or the people are all sitting in a, a little cluster together, and there'll be some liberal reporter who will very slowly and in a deep thought ask them a question, and then my favorite part, and this happens all the time, is these people will honestly answer his or her question, and they simply are astounded that there are people who believe the things that these people are saying.
You mean you're not thinking exactly like me?
So
That's crazy.
I think John King is the guy in this one, and he asks a question about Ukraine, and he simply cannot believe that people distrust Biden and our government's motives there.
If you think the United States should be supporting Ukraine in the fight against Putin, raise your hand. Nobody.
You don't have to be that smart to connect the dots, right? And so is the war to cover up sins committed so you can cover your tracks? There's too much money that's been thrown over there.
You think all the NATO countries would do what Biden told them to do because he's trying to cover up some Hunter Biden business deal by...
It all depends on how Zelensky, how much dirt he has on Biden to keep the money coming.
That's out there.
No, because it's right?
Hey, well, how do you trust when you know the government has shut down Facebook and shut down Twitter and told them to not show certain news stories?
A few days here makes clear Trump's grip is very strong.
Don't you love that? So the government lies to society at every turn. Joe Biden is arguably being proven to be the most corrupt, dirty person to ever hold the Oval Office. And this guy acts just totally perplexed that this country, which has connections to his son, who Joe Biden was clearly in business with for illicit purposes, that this country that has a connection to that people who are paying attention might raise their hand and go, wow, I'm really concerned about this, especially when there's no return on investment, there's no accounting, public accounting. We can't even get the government to produce a strategy of what we're doing in Ukraine. And this dope goes, well, that's really out there.
Wow, that's crazy. He brings up NATO. So NATO countries, they have their reasons for supporting Ukraine. But for us, it's an ocean away. The reasons not as crystal clear, other than military-industrial complex, which 2% Pence loves pushing as well.
Well, yes, and you're right. Isn't it odd that this was the hill we decided to die on? Because when you take all the factors into what's going on in Ukraine, you have a country that has been very, very corrupt for a very long time.
Yep.
It wasn't all that long ago that they were Team Saddam Hussein. Russia, I love that Pence is so anti-Russia now, when in reality, George Bush, who Pence was a huge fan of and supported repeatedly for ill-begotten wars and foreign conflicts when he was in the Congress, was very, very willing to praise Putin and say nice things about Putin and talk about alliances where we had with Putin. Remember, Bush family said, I've seen into his soul. So all of a sudden now, I guess we're back at war with Russia after having many forms of alliances with them the past many years. And the average person just looks at this and goes, none of this makes any sense. And the thing we do know is our government lies to us all the time. Our government is super corrupt, and the Biden family has connections to these people.
Yeah, connecting the dots, just like that guy in that little round table said. And why do we continue to spend millions and millions of dollars with Ukraine? We keep sending all of that money there, and yet our own border is not secure. It drives me absolutely up the wall.
All right, Casey.
Yeah.
When we come back, we have a very, very, very special Mind Your Manners today with Susan Beckwith.
Yes.
Because we're doing Dining 101. However,
we're going to take a quiz.
We're going to have a little quiz contest between you and me. Who's got the better etiquette when it comes to dining?
I'm scared.
Will it be upscale Casey Daniels or Wendy's bag boy, Rob Kendall?
Pressure's on. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Joe Biden wants another $40 billion and assistance to Ukraine, and Joe Hogsett doesn't want to answer any of your questions. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Indy, stop spoiling your summers, painting year after year. Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
Rhino Shield's ceramic coating is specifically formulated for our climate.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Indy, this just in. Take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
And now, a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive.
Well, today you can expect lots of cloud cover with 0% chance of raining on your parade because you'll be riding your motorcycle vroom vroom. That rumbling low-pressure system beneath you should give way to a relaxing commute and a sudden urge to take the scenic route everywhere you go because, dagnabbit, you're having fun out there. That's your forecast. Back to you.
This has been a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive, where every day's a beautiful day to ride with coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get a quote today and see what you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
It's time to mind your manners with Susan Beckwith.
Use your
Oh, yes, it is time for you scoundrels who listen to this program to get some life advice that will make you better members of society. It is time for Mind Your Manners. It is the part of the show as we wrap up each week where Casey, we bring in our own former Miss Indiana, Susan Beckwith, and she tells you the steps necessary to be a better, more decent member of society. And we know you all need that. Let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline. Dining 101 this week. Susan, what is the number one mistake people make when dining?
Well, you know what? I thought it would be a lot of fun to switch it up today. Instead of me just kind of imparting information, I thought, let's do a little quiz.
Oh, great. How exciting.
Actually, this came to me because of Casey. So she had sent me some TikToks about a gentleman that was sharing some fun facts, and I thought, you know what, let's just quiz what they know about table etiquette.
I saw those, Susan, and I thought of you. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this guy with his manners. I wonder if he's up to it.
I loved it. And honestly, I learned something new. So you know what? We're all kind of, like I have said multiple times, works in progress.
All right, let's do it. Let's take this quiz. I'm going to show Casey how sophisticated I really am.
Tables, elbows off the table, Rob.
I love it. I love it. All right, true or false? You should place your napkin in the middle of your plate when you are finished eating.
True.
False.
It is false.
Yes!
So, you know what? I quizzed my mom, and she got that one wrong, too. So, we were talking about, the proper thing is to put the napkin to the left of the plate.
All right.
So, when you're finished, but if you need to get up and use the restroom, then it's okay to put on your chair.
Okay.
Okay, so Rob 1, Casey 0.
Oh,
Eat it, Casey.
Score? All right.
All right, Casey, this one's coming at you.
Okay.
You should, true or false, you should always pass both the salt and pepper together.
True.
False.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
What?
1-1. Okay, so when
Wait. Was it true or false?
It's true. When somebody says, can you pass me the salt, you always pass the pepper.
What if you don't want
it.
the pepper? That's stupid.
They're married. They go together.
What if I don't want one or the other?
That's the way it goes.
This sounds like a very government thing, but I don't need this. No, here, take it. Your life will be so much better.
Susan, tell him I'm right.
You are correct, and you're exactly right. They're married. Now, I tried to dig a little deeper into some of the history there, and I was not all that successful. So, to me, it does seem like kind of a silly rule, but you know what? Sometimes that's the way things are.
Wait. Time out. I don't mean to derail the conversation then. Well, if it's a rule and you can't, who made the rule?
That's a very good question. I don't know that either.
This is how our elections get tabulated. I don't know. Somebody did it, but that's the way it is.
That's the way we've always been doing it.
Pretty much.
Okay, what's next?
True or false? You should always pass the bread basket clockwise.
Okay, let's see.
True.
No, I'm going to say that's false. I think it's counterclockwise.
It is counterclockwise.
Yes!
So it is false.
Wow. That's so weird. Doesn't everything else go clockwise?
Nope. So the butter dish, the bread basket, all go counterclockwise. And so basically this, again, is just, they've picked a system, and that's the system and that they chose. And it's just honestly about having some sort of order. It doesn't seem like there's any other real rationale clockwise versus counterclockwise, but it is counterclockwise.
Susan Beckwith is our guest. It's our Mind Your Manners segment. Casey and I taking a quiz today on dining etiquette. I am just beating the hell out of Casey right now at 2 correct to Casey's 1. So is that true for everything? Like at Thanksgiving this year when we sit down and my wife says, can you pass me the potatoes? I'm supposed to do it counterclockwise, right?
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Very good. All right, what's next?
Yes, when eating soup, true or false, it's proper to spoon the soup away from you.
True.
Spoon the soup away from you? What do you mean?
You put the spoon in and it goes away from you.
You don't just take it and stab it? Like with the oh boy, I'm doing it all wrong. Boy, that Campbell's soup.
It would be hard to stab soup. I mean
True, Susan. I'm glad you caught that.
I'm gonna say it's true because you wouldn't want to get it on yourself.
This is correct.
Yes.
Yes, and it's for that exact reason, to basically reduce spills. So.
Do I get a bonus point because I got the reason right in addition to getting the question right?
No.
Well, I think you're already faring, well. So we'll just leave it at that.
All right, 3-2. Is there one more question?
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. I have a couple of them, but let's see if I've got one that I really feel like it would be. Okay. Proper etiquette, true or false, prohibits cutting a roll, but rather you should tear it.
Oh.
Wait, what? Say that again. Oh, you mean like when you get a roll, like not like a big chunk of bread, but like there's a roll on your plate, a dinner roll.
Yes.
You should not take your knife and cut it.
Correct. I mean, like that's what the question is.
Okay. All right. Casey, you go first.
I'm going to say that's true. You're supposed to tear it.
Yeah, I don't even know, but this is the last question. So as long as I answer the same as you, I'm going to win. So I'm also going to say true.
That is true.
Yes!
Good.
Well, Casey.
So yes, you should break it open with your hands. You can butter from the butter dish, but you need to put the butter on your butter plate prior to putting it on your roll. You don't want to, directly put from the butter dish right on your roll. So that's some bread etiquette as well this morning.
Wow, look at Rob go with his manners.
4.
I'm so proud of you.
4. I got 4 of the 5.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
Yeah.
And who would have thought Rob Kendall would be winning the etiquette? Well, I mean, if anybody's ever seen me, you know how refined and sophisticated I actually am. Susan, we want to give you plenty of time to talk about your very fabulous website where if people want to go in depth. No doubt you'll have more information on this Belle of the Midwest.
Yes, today I have a new blog post up that you can check out, all regarding gym etiquette. So we have a plethora of different topics that cover social etiquette. So be sure to check out the blog. If you have any sort of social etiquette questions or tea etiquette questions, you can send those my way. And I'd love to hear from you. It's been a lot of fun hearing from various listeners.
She is our resident etiquette manners expert. She's a former Miss Indiana, and gosh darn it, she's just the most pleasant person you'll hear from all week. Belle of the Midwest, BELLE of the Midwest.com. Susan Beckwith, you're the best. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. And thank you for joining us today, Rob. Thank you with your manners and all that good stuff. I know you did. You know what? But I have no doubt if you were to sit down at a table, you would just inhale the food. Good job today. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for listening. And we're going to catch you back here on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Let me ask you a question. What's 12 times 3?
It's 36. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912. This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy, wants to help you earn that 36% bonus at 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Have you ever thought that it's easier to be homeless in the summer? The reality, though, is that summer leaves our homeless neighbors vulnerable to dangers like dehydration and heat stroke. Thankfully, Wheeler Mission is here to help anyone in need of food, water, and shelter. When you give today, you may save a life. Donate now at WheelerMission.org. That's WHEELER mission.org. Thank you.
Welcome to Tire Discounters.
Thanks. I heard it could save $200.
Yes, sir. Up to $200 on any set of Cooper tires.
Like it.
And when you buy any set of 4 tires, you get a free alignment.
Sounds great.
And we sand corrosion off all the mating surfaces. And we double hand torque the lug nuts. And we wash your wheels.
Whoa, so when you guys say C-Store for details,
they're all good things.
Save up to $200 off any set of 4 Cooper tires. C-Store for details.
At
SimpliSafe, we've designed award-winning home security with advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this, 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Were you hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident? The insurance companies may chisel away any hope you have of winning your case, and they don't have the advantage